Welcome in, Robot. Welcome in when y'all get in. Whenever and whoever. Yeah, let me go back here. Might as well. Alright. Actually, yeah, let me look at those two. Hello, Rahubot. Welcome in. How you doing? How we feeling? How we doing? How we feeling? How we doing? Welcome in, Rahubot. Hello. Word, perfect timing. Just got off work. Nice. How was work? How am I doing today? I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. I'm doing very well. Hope everyone else is doing well too. It's been a slow day. I have 2 videos uploading that just want to take 1,000 years. So we're just gonna kill time until they upload. Hopefully we're all doing well. I'm glad to hear that we're all doing well. But yeah, I don't know. Let's talk about anything. Questions, anything at all. Random things, just whatever, you know? No restrict. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll be. What's up? Not much. Just chilling. Waiting for videos to upload. Got nothing else going on, so here I am. Ever think we need what? I'm not too sure what that means. You think you just broke a cycle in your life? Nice. You should be breaking cycles every day. Not in like a major thing, but you know, doing something different every day breaks that cycle of stagnancy or repetition. You're a troll, but you won't troll me? Word. Do what you want, I guess. Oh no, you're good. Speak to text. I feel that. No worries. That's how it be sometimes. Nah, no need to apologize. It's all good. No one's feelings are hurt. No one's upset. No one's crying or bleeding. We're good. No injury. You troll the others, but I seem cool. I mean, that's what they all say. So, welcome to the boat. I'm just here chilling. So, yeah, that's all we ask to just be respectful. It was a big cycle. Well, hell yeah. A lot of the cycles that you have from birth are just passed down from generation to generation. So, if you stop something that your parents did or stop some sort of like innate addiction or innate calling, you know, when you get those callings to do something bad, but you're like, oh, I shouldn't do that because that's not who I am. Breaking those things are like the childhood cycles that you had to break. Not have to break, but everyone tends to struggle with them. Either they succumb to them or break them. You know what I mean? Hell yeah. We love doing that. We love finding random tarot decks around the place. No, I don't know nothing about WWE or 2K25 at all. Nothing about that at all. Wrong crowd for that. I don't know nothing about that. Yeah, I got a big nose. It's better than having a small nose. You know what I mean? I mean, for someone to say I got a big nose, you gotta have a small nose. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of an insecurity right there. Yeah, I know it's a video game. I just never played it before. I don't play those types of games. I don't really play games that much anyway, as it is. Word. Is it a red or white deck, or is it a just like another deck? You know what yeah, which one is it? What up, Unc? I'm not no Unc. I am not an Unc. Too young to be an Unc. Too young to be an Unc. You Egyptian? Yeah, I got Egyptian bloodline in me. I have not seen the JoJo Bizarre's Adventure Tarot deck. I'm gonna definitely look that up though. That that sounds crazy, honestly. But then again, like the whole, I think like the first like 2 seasons was basically like tarot themed. Like really digging down into it, it was like, you know what I mean? So I'm not even not surprised that there is one, but that sounds sick as hell. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm really gonna have to look that up. I miss JoJo. I used to have a friend in high school. We would sleep over at another one of our friends' house. When he would fall asleep, we would have JoJo nights where we would just stay up all night long and just watch every episode. And that shit was fun. I think we stopped on like, I think on like season 4 we stopped, and then I watched season 5 with someone else, but I forgot everything completely. I forgot the whole lore of it and everything. The only thing I actually remember from that was fucking Echo version 2. That's the only one I remember, other than like, you know, the basics and shit from like season 1. But no, Stardust Crusaders was 1000% tarot themed. There's no getting around it at all. It's like you don't even have to like know much about tarot to know that there was something. Like if you were to just look at a tarot deck, you would know that there's some stuff like connected to it. Man, I don't eat meat, so probably not. I don't think I ever make hamburger helper together, man. You gotta go find someone else to help you make that. That is not up my role. That is not up my alley. No, seriously. Any recommendations for a tarot deck? The only one that really matters is the Rider-Waite. And if you can't read the Rider-Waite tarot deck, you don't really know how to read tarot. You know how to read interpretations. That's just the fact of it. Welcome in. But you don't, you know, either get, I would recommend the Radiant one. It's just higher quality, obviously. I have it next to me because I was sorting them out. I was gonna get a little class ready for the tarot class I was doing, but then I decided just to go live instead. Yeah, here, let me get the box for you. Oh, let me get the box. It's tore up as fuck, and I need to find the lid to it so I can tape it back together. That or just buy a new box, but this is the only real like tarot deck that matters. This is the original, this is where it roots from. It has the whole thing. And the reason why I say it matters is because tarot operates off of arcana, and arcana just means secrets. So when you have your major arcana and your minor arcana, you have your major secrets, the ones that hold the majority or the most secrets, and then your minor arcana, which hold the lesser secrets or the ones that are smaller. You know what I mean? They're not as big of a secret because they use the laws of repetition in all of them. It only has the secrets from 1 to 10, and 10 just being 1 again. while this has multiple secrets in it, major arcana, minor arcana. It is backwards, isn't it? I forgot. Images are going to be mirrored all the time. But yeah, that's why it's important to know the Rider Waite, because like you can you can call the card judgment, but if you don't know the symbolisms of the card judgment, then you're just going to say it's calling judgment on someone, when judgment has a lot more to it than just that. It has masonry in it. That's justice. Where's judgment at? Let me I'm not going to break it down too much, but I'll show you. It's got a lot in the card relates to secrets, you know what I mean? And then as well, like just not knowing the symbolisms of it and stuff. Like Pamela did a, I don't know. I want to like go back in time and watch Pamela and them like make the cards. That's what I want to do. That's like a goal. That's a goal for like a memory adventure or some shit. But it is it is just important. I don't know. A lot of people sleep on it, and it's like it's kind of sad because they don't know they're reading it wrong, but they are. And it's, in the age of knowledge and the age of knowing things, it's like important to know this. And not only that, but I was taught how to read tarot. I'm not taught how to, but I was taught how to correct my readings, I should say, from the fifth rated tarot reader in the world. Like he's one of my mentors. So it's like hearing him talk about what tarot is and showing me evidence of like things and how it breaks down and how it connects to the world and all these like deep, what would be the true esoteric knowledge of these cards and how they connect to the world. After seeing that, my whole like life changed, and I just can't watch people like read tarot because they don't really know what they're talking about. Some people do, but they don't know the actual like imagery. They don't know the hidden messages of it. They just go off what they believe in speculations rather than like why they're actually there. Because everything's done for a reason. And when people are actually conscious of their actions, they'll do things on purpose rather than just do things because it looks cute or fills in negative space, right? And these cards are made in purpose because there's not any negative space in any of these cards at all. There's not an empty space. It has different shadings, it has different illuminations. It's done on purpose. And a lot of other people who make cards, they don't do it on purpose. They think, oh, I could do this because it looks cool. They don't know the actual reason why, other than the very surface level, oh, it looks cool, or it needs some sort of detail. You know what I mean? No, it's WAITE. It's RIDER dash WAITE. But yeah. Why can I not read that message? I don't think it's possible to know too much. I feel like that's like on a personal level, but in the grand scheme of things, you'll never know too much because you'll never know the full majority. That's like the whole point of people knowing different things and some people knowing one thing and people knowing another thing. It gets you down to one whole like conjoint system. There's not really about knowing too much. It's more of knowing the core of things. Because you can know too much information that's just a bunch of dog shit, and it like causes confusion. But if you know the truth, if you know the actual alchemy, if you know the actual core of certain subjects that you're learning about, then there wouldn't be a confusion and it wouldn't get that overwhelmed feeling of feeling too much, right? So it's more of the battle between misinformation and like correct information that people struggle with, because the misinformation will overwhelm you because you'll get, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, and then you'll have like the actual information just buried underneath it. So it can be, you can know too much, but knowing too much is knowing too much of the wrong thing. Because if you know too much of the right, I mean, it can cause a little bit of fear for sure. Again, it's like down to a person, but for me personally and how I operate, I don't really think that there's knowing too much, because if you can handle the core value of things, it shouldn't be like a big issue. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You have to learn to unlearn. You genuinely do, because you will grow so tightly to like the ego loves to grasp. Like your mind loves to grab onto things and be like, "This is correct. It has to be this way because there's nothing else." Rather than continuously searching. If you can like learn to unlearn, and just know that you know what someone could digest from that topic, and then you have to also dive into that topic as well to understand things that they didn't understand, because like you really have to do that. um I'll give you the perfect example. The mentor that I had, he didn't realize on the 5 of Wands that the man holding the stick, Saturn, the one in the red, his stick doesn't have any leaves on it. It's not a valuable stick. He didn't notice that. And I was like, "Do you think there's a reason for that?" And he said, "I never noticed that." So I started digging into it. And there's things you got to fill in the spaces, because what some person will notice, other people won't. That's the whole point of having different views and different perspectives, is not to combine your opinion with things, but to be more observant than the next. It's about teaching the teacher, and then so the teacher can become the student again. You all have to learn and teach each other. It's the whole thing. Oh yeah. Hopefully one day that green journal gets released or something. It's not like, you know what I mean, because it's always good to share information. It's just it needs to reach the right people, and then again, like, you got to make sure about what's going on with it and stuff. But writing this stuff down is really important. Like we depend so much on like electronics that we just forget to write things down. We forget to like actually memorize things and use our brain. Like our brain recognizes patterns. A lot of us don't remember that, and we don't look at the patterns. We look at surface face value. So when you start really looking at the patterns of things, it clicks more. There's a whole pattern that's within tarot. There's a whole pattern between why you wake up a certain way. It's a whole thing. You have to be both the teacher and the student, because the teacher has to be the student to be a teacher. Everyone has to learn. The only teacher that doesn't need to truly learn. Well, no, that's not even true, because master teachers still have to learn, because master teachers are still taught. Never mind. So you always have to be teaching and learning. Always, always. I mean, it's not that you die when you stop learning. Well, damn. How are we going to talk about this? Because I could talk about this in two different ways. I'm going to try and find the best way to talk about it, though, because I don't want to talk about it in like a watered down way. You do technically die when you stop learning, but it's not like a brain death. It's a soul death, because your soul will stop maturing. When someone says you're an old soul, you can't have an old soul, because your soul doesn't age. Your soul matures, and maturity comes from wisdom and experience. So you're not an old soul. You're just a very experienced and wise soul. Your soul doesn't age. Your soul and is the same as time. It's been here. It doesn't age. It doesn't get any older. The only thing that ages is skin, is flesh, is the body. But it doesn't really even age. It deteriorates. So if anything, it's de-aging instead of aging. It's not going up in years. It's getting worse and worse. It's getting tighter and tighter and closer to its form of dust. You know what I mean? So when people start going around saying old souls and stuff, they're on the right track, but they're not seeing the actuality of it. They're just saying that you're mature. You know more than your years of on this physical realm in this time now. You know more than you should, quote unquote, whatever basis they're attaching it to. Yeah, that is true. A lot of people can't handle the how the world operates. A lot of people are going to be stuck in denial, but I mean, these next 5 years until 2020 30. I mean, 2030, 2020 30. Yeah, okay, we're not that far ahead yet. Well, until we're in 2030, like, we have like 5 years basically for those people to catch up. Because some people are going to be saved, and some people are going to be in the water still, just kind of drowning, hoping for someone to grab their hand. we've been at that for a while, but these next 5 years are like crucial for knowing things, because if you don't start paying attention to the signs that are happening in the world and the signs around you, you're gonna be very lost moving forward. It's like, it's not even funny. And it doesn't really have to do much with the outer galactic or the Palladians and stuff like that. They're worrying about the outer galactic species and stuff. It's more just knowing who you are, knowing your actual ancestry, meaning the people who are buried on this land and who they are, so you can go back to your roots, leading you back home. That's what you really have to be worried about. So many people are like, oh, well, I'm an alien this, I'm an alien that. You really only know if you are or not based off your lineage, off your family lineage. You have to go back and trace your roots. And a lot of people are waking up and doing that so they can become sovereign. And the system doesn't like that, because once you start freeing the sovereignty, you start getting your stuff back, your land, your money, everything that they stole from you and your inherent bloodline back. And then when that happens, they don't have anything because it's not their land to have in the first place. So they got to go back wherever the fuck they came from, and they don't even know where they came from. So that's why they're trying to keep everyone stuck up with governmental things and making laws and all sorts of dumb shit to keep you distracted from finding out who you actually are. So it's very important to like discover who you are, however that may be. You know, I can't tell you how to fully do it. I mean, the best place I can do is to find your ancestry. Who was your grandmother? Who was your great grandmother? Who was your families back then? Just find your family tree, right? And it's that difference that's difficult for different people. So it's really just finding different avenues that you can take to get there. No, I know exactly what you're talking about, though. Like, when you, my God, because a lot of people don't understand that. Like, I'm on that same boat with you. People don't understand that when you lie, it holds you back. The amount of like repercussions that you do to yourself at the end of the day, because a lot of people, like, they expect that judgment day for this divine being to judge you. They're not expecting at the end of the day that when they are sent to their judgment day, they're looking at themselves and they're going to be the one ratting on themselves. They're not expecting that at all. They don't they're not ready to hear all that yet. I mean, they should be ready to hear that, and we should be talking about it, but it's like they're expecting, like, oh, I'm going to be faced with ISIS and all these other things. No, those are laws that govern you while you're on this earth. That's why you know about them. When you leave this vessel and you're up there in the ethers, or you're deeper inside yourself truly, you're going to be judging yourself. And it's going to be you and you. It's going to be you judging yourself. And like, yeah, I remember when you did this and you held on to this grudge and you didn't apologize for that and you really wanted to, but you didn't. You didn't do all these things. It's going to rip you apart, because at the end of the day, you're your worst enemy. You only have you to face at the end of the day. You and your beliefs. I mean, some people, I know what I'm saying. Other people might get it, but for the ones that don't, just keep walking down the path and we'll get there. Because they're not expecting it. They want to, oh, I'm going to be saved by Jesus. Who? Jesus who? Which Jesus? What Jesus do you believe in? Who you going to see? You're going to see yourself and whoever else you believed in and whatever they believed in, because subconsciously you already know their exact full laws that they believed in, not the things that you've been told on this realm. So it's a whole thing that people aren't ready to like delve into, because it's a mind-opening thing. We got to wait a little bit longer to talk about it in depth, but it's one of those things. And the ones that already get it, like, you're already on the right path, you're already walking down, keep walking. But for the ones that don't, just keep walking, because people aren't ready for it. I forgot what, oh my God, I forgot what it's called. I forgot what it was. The image that was made of the lighthouse in the middle of the cylinder prison. That wasn't just like a way to entrap people. That's literally how the human like operates. You are a lighthouse. Everything that you see that comes out of you is light. If you couldn't see it, it wouldn't be light. It would be dark. It'd be hidden. It'd be dead. It wouldn't exist. You wouldn't know of its existence because there wouldn't be any proof, any light to shine on it. A lot of people don't get that. They think it's just like a governmental thing. No. As above, so below. As within, so without. To every degree. Doesn't matter how small or big it is. It's there. It's to show you what's going on, not only with other people, but with you. The world's a mental world. We're in a psychological battle at the end of the day. What makes you think you end up in heaven? I never said I was going to end up in heaven. I never said heaven once. I know that heaven is Orion, is the Orions. I know that. I don't think I'm going to get into heaven. There's a difference. I wouldn't say I think about something. I'm going to say I hope I get into heaven. But I don't even know if heaven exists. That's the thing. No one does. If no one knows if heaven exists or not. They might have experienced something that they would describe as heaven, but that might not have been actual heaven. People describe seeing the devil and God many times within near-death experiences, but you have to die to experience them. Having a near-death experience isn't death. That's being very close to death, in close proximity. No one's died and actually came back unless they reincarnated as an avatar, right? Those are the only ones that actually know, but they might not even have the memory to remember what they even seen when they did die, other than what they experienced with the light of being in existence. People like to hold on so tightly to things being so real and false, then prove it. Show me heaven. Show me heaven. Other than the Orion system that is called the heavens, and that's what they talk about in the scriptures, no matter if it's the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, whatever, that's what they're talking about, is the Orions. But there's no solid proof that anyone has of heaven. I don't see any photos of it. I don't see much of any information. I see a bunch of opinions from other people's standpoints that are all completely different. There's not one solidified statement that says this is heaven that everyone can synonymously agree with. Therefore, it don't exist. I'm not going to agree to it existing or not existing, though, because I don't have solid proof of it existing or not, and you don't either because you haven't died yet to exist it. Maybe you do know, but if you did, you'd be able to explain it to me without using definitions of other people. You'd be able to describe it in your own way that would be synonymous with everything rather than just picking one side and running with it. You know what I mean? But again, this is this ego trap that people stay in of it being one way and it has to be this way, when in actuality it could be completely different because you've been told by someone else that it's something rather than experiencing it for yourself. And that's the whole issue. People don't want to experience things on their own. They want people to tell them something so that they can grab their own opinion, their own identity with it, and then run with that, rather than knowing the full truth of that their own identity with it is what they're only allowing themselves to agree with, rather than just existing in the whole realm of it might not be this. So a lot of people got to work on that because that's an ego trap that a lot of people are stuck in. It's the dogma. It's the spell of the dogma. It's horrible. Yeah, I've had 3 near-death experiences too. They were all 3 different experiences, though. I never experienced something called heaven or hell. I experienced other things. You know what I mean? So it's saying really and truly, if everyone who had a near-death experience, if heaven and hell is a solidified place, no matter what, no matter if like Dante's Inferno is real, no matter if the 7 heavens or whatever, right? They would have a synonymous agreement of it being one way instead of everyone having no, it's this, no, it's that, no, it's this, no, it's that. Oh, I seen this, oh, I seen that. Why are all these people seeing different things instead of the one thing if it is this one thing? If it has the label, it should be that. A can of green peas should be a can of green peas if that label's on it, rather than a can of green and blue peas or a can of green and yellow peas. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of a difference that people aren't paying attention to, and they like calling it too deep, but it's not too deep. It's just simply being observant and seeing things on face value, which people like to do on a daily basis until it comes to being intelligent, until it comes to actually being wise about making a decision. Now they got to use the rational side of the brain, the right side, the RITE, the ritual side, and break it down to a million pieces. You know what I mean? And I'm not, agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just stating out the fact of it, of everyone's given different opinions on what things are, so it can't be a solidified thing unless there's actual evidence to back it up to that point. You know what I mean? We all have different experiences, but that doesn't mean it's that agreeable to that one label. But yeah, it's really at the end of the day, it's like, do you think darkness gave birth to light? Darkness isn't evil. Darkness isn't evil. Why do you think? I don't. I want to. I really want to understand why people think dark is evil. When you close your eyes, it's dark. Are you evil then? Are you instantly start killing people when you go to bed? Is that like what's going on? Like, is even killing people evil? Like, get down to the basis of it. Why do people say light is good and dark is evil? When it's nighttime, do you or is it evil when it's nighttime? Evil stuff happens during the day. You got to have light to see the evil. So wouldn't that make the light evil because it's making you aware of it? What's this saying? Ignorance is bliss, and ignorance would be darkness. Wouldn't be able to see something because you'd be ignoring it. You wouldn't. You can't. You can only ignore something if it's not made light. So why is everyone so stuck on saying light's good and dark's bad when in actuality everything that's dark just is. Everything came from dark. It can't be made into light until it's been through dark. Triple darkness. Light creates shadow. Light does not create shadow. Light creates light. The darkness is the shadow. Light doesn't create shadow. Light will make a shadow appear, but it doesn't create it because it's already there. It needs an opposing force to show that it's there. It's the same thing as an invisible barrier. You don't know an invisible barrier is there until you bump into it. That invisible barrier is the dark. It's unseen. You can't see it. And you're walking. You ever walk into like a glass door because it's been so clean or something? Or you look out a window and it's really clean and you can see straight through it? That's the darkness. That's the veil that you can't see. It's there. It's never going to leave. It's always been there. You don't see it till you touch it, till you're in contact, till you do something to bring it to light. It's always going to be there. Light doesn't do anything but make things appear to be. The darkness is everywhere at all times. It is the light that shows different. This light created light. This darkness has always been here. This shade from the sun that's coming through the window has always been there. It doesn't disappear. This light just adds more to what's already being shown. There's not much of a difference. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know this though. This is like sciences that we're talking about. This is the sciences behind like spiritual beings, and spirituality is just things involving spirit. It is the study of spirit. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people do that. It's like I've never understood. It's like the same thing of people saying positive and negative. Like, oh, we don't need negativity. We do need negativity. We don't need pessimism. Negative and positive charges. You cannot have a positive charge without a negative. A negative charge looks like this. A positive charge, it looks like that, right? So how can you have this without that? Now you just have this. What is this? I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a finger, but like, if we're gonna go back into how this world operates, because people love to forget as above, so below, as within, so without. Because when it comes down to these other things, such as how battery gives life to things with a positive and negative charge, and it being just the electron in the middle, people tend to forget about how the whole world operates and what's going on actually. They tend to get too spiritual and lose their mind. They delve into spookisms and things that sound good rather than actual facts, you know? But yeah, it's like a bunch of like religious and spiritual dogma. They're like, oh, the darkness is bad and negativity is bad. No, without a negative energy, you wouldn't be able to receive anything. Do you understand that negative energy is feminine? Because the feminine side of you is the one that receives. And the positive side is the masculine side. As you give with the positive, you can only, like, look up how electrons and neurons and all these, like, we have it all around us. Just look up how these things operate. It's the same thing. We're using the same terms, but people want to construe it because it's in a different subject. It's like there's a can of green peas in like the frozen yogurt aisle. Does that make the green peas not green peas anymore? No, it's just misplaced in a different aisle. We got to go put it back where it belongs. I love using the green pea example because again, it's like it's really that simple, but people overcomplicate it because they're right brained, they're rational, they break things down too much and they lose track of it. Instead of being left sided, being the actual spiritual side, being on the right side of knowledge, you know. And that's a whole confusion there in itself. But yeah, we're taught that fear is bad. Like, fear is good. Fear is a motivator. Fear is to motivate you, but some people can't handle the pressure because they're not told to. They get fear. They're told, oh, when you're scared of something, it's bad. And fear means that something's going to hurt you. It's okay to know that there's a danger. Like, dangers will exist, but fear should not be a thing. If you're in danger and you get that fear, you should know, oh shit, well, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be doing this. Let me do something different to fix this. That fear is just being, hey, don't do this. You know what I mean? Like, danger is going to be there. Danger is a real thing. But, like, think about it as the animal kingdom. If you go out, if you're like, let's say you're like you and another like lion are in a battle or whatever the fuck, and you start getting scared. That lion's going to know that you're scared and take advantage of that and pummel you down. That same energy is there. Even though we don't recognize that we have the same senses and can pick up on that fear, we do have like the reactions of it. There we go. Like the sweating, the shaking of the hands, the body movements. You can see when someone's getting scared and fearful because their mannerisms change. This is the same thing. Like when you get scared, you shouldn't let that fear pummel you, because that's how people get stuck in these cycles and beat down and go into the whole victim mentality of, oh, I couldn't do this because X, Y, and Z, but you could. It was just showing you how to do it. But it's hard to like grip for sure. But again, it's like the only reason that it's even hard to grip is because we're not taught about it. It's actually really easy once you learn to do it, but we're not taught at a young age. We're taught a completely different side of things that aren't necessary when we are able to learn, like from the ages of, what is it, from like 5 to 7 or something. I forgot the age. It's like around the age of 5 is when your brain is still in theta mode, where it can learn and pick up on things really easily. If you're not taught well at that age, you're gonna get fucked up. Like my mom and dad, I was experimented on. That whole thing where people are like, just play classical music for your children when they're young and they'll grow up to be smart. I was one of those kids where my mom and dad would blast classical music all the time when I would go to bed, and I would only listen to like Beethoven and stuff, and I did piano lessons at like 7 and shit. Like I was one of those like test kids where they're like, oh, let's do this to help their brain develop more and shit. It worked, but unfortunately it's like why are you testing shit on kids? Like, we knew this shit was gonna work, but why are you calling it a test? It's a weird thing, you know what I mean? But it's again like important to know, like, not to beat yourself up while learning these things, because again, we're not taught them, and we already have a set brain that's already set in a certain matrix that you then have to break out of after the fact. So it don't like beat yourself up over like, oh, I'm still letting fear beat me up. That's okay. It's gonna happen. Like, you're not gonna be perfect at everything instantly. You gotta grow and you gotta learn with it and move with that water. The fault is always within. The fault starts with you. Everything in this world is perfect, because this is the truth. If there was anything wrong with the world, it wouldn't be happening right now. The fact that humans are jumping in and like, oh, we need to save these animals, are going extinct. No, we don't need to save them. Nature is saying, we don't need you anymore. Leave. We're going to bring something new in. Let's leave. You're all are stopping evolution from taking place. People tend to think that, oh, it's dead and it's never going to come back. No, a new evolved version is going to come back. Let the thing go extinct, let the new thing come in, and let us go down the cycle. It's the same, you know what I mean? But we're afraid to let things just die off and be born again. It's all these things. Like, we should just allow things to happen normally. Like, there's nothing wrong with the world. It's happening perfectly the way it is, no matter what. It's the person that has an issue with it for their own reasons, their own experiences growing up in life, their own their own like viewpoints. It's them that's the issue. If they didn't, now here's the kicker. If they didn't exist, there would be no problem. And I'm not going to say on what it is. I'm not going to let y'all run with that however you want. But if that issue wasn't there, there would be no issue. And everyone can agree on every scenario, because if those disagreeables weren't there, everything would be agreeable. But that doesn't mean they have to leave. That just means they have to learn to be agreeable to those things. There's nothing wrong with it. You have the right to disagree with things on this earth. That's part of our free will, right? But funnily enough, being disagreeable swipes that free will from us, because instead of being able to have the free will to not like something and still be okay, we tend to grow on to the I don't like it, so it needs to go away. So that strips our free will away from being able to continue to evolve and change. We're now like locked in a position because our ego doesn't want us to grow, which it doesn't want us to. What do you want to offer me? I just seen that. I seen that because I think I'm like, what do you want to offer to him? What do you want to offer to me? What are you talking about? Depends on what you're offering. I don't know what you're offering. But I mean, yeah, I like having conversations like this. This is the stuff that I talk about. I love talking about this stuff. I talk about it to my friends who don't know this much about it. Like, I love talking about this shit. I look at stuff in a different way, and people who look at stuff in different ways need to start vocalizing it, because it's how we grow. We can compare. There's no need to like argue or fight or think that everything's like against you, because some people will talk and they'll be like, oh well, I can't talk to you because I don't agree with what you're saying. But that's the whole point, because if you came here to share your point, then why are you disagreeing with another point? You should be able to find some sort of like agreeable lane to know what someone's saying, not needing to follow what they said, but just to know what they're saying and be like, yeah, I can get that. You know what I mean? So it's just how it be. No, growth is not sunshine and rainbows at all. It is strenuous, it is stressful, it is like terrifying at some degrees. It is it is not always easy. And it's like, it's because, so the way our brains operate is off of patterns. And our ego likes to stay within a familiar pattern because it's considered safe, right? What is the word safe? What do you do in a safe? You lock things in a safe to keep it protected from outside forces. What's the outside force that happens? Chaos, because nothing can always repeat the same. There's always going to be a chaos factor in it that causes something different to happen. It's the butterfly effect. It's all these rules and things that we live underneath and that govern us. When you end up putting yourself in a safe zone, you're locking yourself in a box, in fact, a black box in Saturn's cube, if you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look up Saturn's cube. You lock yourself in there. It keeps you bound. I'll even show you this right here too. It's so funny. I said I was gonna need these cards. Dude, I was gonna need to grab these cards. Look at the devil. See that black cube he's sitting on? That's Saturn's cube. That's you whenever you decide to hold on to safety cycles. That's you whenever you decide to hold on to energies that no longer work for you. And now look what you do. After you go to the W, you go straight to the tower. You lose your crown. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Why are you going up? Why are you building a staircase to heaven? Why are you being Nimrod and building up to heaven? God's going to smite you down and bring you back down to earth. Hands up. That's all I'm going to say. The ones that get it will get it. The ones that don't, keep walking. This is the shit that I love talking about. These are the secret. Like, it's there. Humpty Dumpty. I can tell y'all the Humpty Dumpty riddle using the tarot cards, using the minor arcana. I don't even need the major. Use the minor. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Why are they talking about men? There's 3 men in the deck and only 1 woman. They're missing nurturing. You can put all sorts of work into something, but if you don't put love and effort into it and actually nurture it and continue to work on it, ain't nothing gonna work. If you are not following the purity if you're not following the pure energy that the idea was presented in, it's not gonna work. Why were they trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together again? I don't know. That's the part of it I don't get. So I gotta ask questions about that one. But why were they trying to put Humpty back together again? What was the purpose? So he could sit back on the wall and fall over again? Why the fuck would you want to do that? There's a lot more to it than that, but explaining it with the cards is simple and fun to do. How do you break out of the safe? Don't go in it. First of all, don't go into the safe. Always remember that, you can always, break out, because it's your safe. At the end of the day, so think of it like this. Instead of thinking of it as you locking yourself in the case, you're locking your potential out. You're locking your potential in that safe. But that's your safe, so you know the combination. If you are afraid to go outside because you don't know how to talk to people, then you need to first learn how to talk to people. That's the code to your safe. How do you learn how to talk to people? Learn how to talk to yourself, because the fear of you being afraid of talking to yourself and being honest with yourself and liking who you are as a character is preventing you from meeting other characters and spreading your idea of who you are to other people. Maybe you want to revamp your idea. Maybe you don't like sharing certain things. You need to figure these things out before going out there so that you're not oversharing, undersharing, or working out of fear. You know what I mean? Because all you really do is lock parts of you up. You lock your cage. Your cage is up in a heart. Your heart gets hard as a rock. So try looking at it like that way, because it's less, because it is locking you in the safe, but the thing that's actually locked up is like your flesh. So again, you can even think of it more as like you're locking your soul up instead of just saying potential. You could say you're locking your soul up, keeping you locked in another box that you live in to go out and do what you need to do. And that might be because other people are locked in boxes too, and you know that other people have their ways of being and you don't want to disturb their way of being. Well, you can't disturb anything unless they allow it to be disturbed. I could move this water bottle here, and until someone says, why the fuck is that water bottle there, it's not disturbing anyone. You know what I mean? Because it's all on perspective. I love life so much because it really is this simple, but we're overstimulated. We're overstimulated all the time. And if some small thing pops up, and it's not on purpose too, obviously, but the smallest things that we come into and intervene, it's like, oh, now my whole world's going to explode because this one tiny thing didn't work. No, because everything else is still working. It's just you used all your energy to plan something out that didn't quite work. And instead of being able to continue moving on, we fall under the pressure of failure and, oh, well, how are people going to look at me now because I failed at this and XYZ? Who cares what they think? How do you feel? You tried something new, it didn't work out. Awesome, do it again. Don't do the same thing or do the same thing. I don't know, it's up to you. Do something different though. It's not the idea that's messed up, it's the method. Always. It's not the functionality of it, because it's the idea that's pure. The idea comes from the divine. It's pure. It's made of love. It's made from everything to help you. You have the idea to be a famous model. That's the idea. That's pure. That's awesome. That's amazing. Now you have to deal with this insecurities. Oh, I don't look good. Oh, I don't know where to start. All these things that make it impure and dirty it up to make it harder on you moving forward, rather than just going, oh, I want to be a model. Let me go sign up for this one thing. Let me go look up places that are accepting like amateur models and then start off on that adventure. You know what I mean? Because it's that simple. It's those steps that you need to take. But we tend to overplan, we rationalize it. We think too much on it rather than seeing it as a one-step program. But, and again, we're not taught these things. We have to learn these things, so it's difficult. And if you can speak about it, you should be able to actually do the walking movements and do it. But again, it comes down to you knowing who you are and you being able to not fight yourself, but control yourself. Because, let me pull them out. I fucking love this stuff so much. Because this is you. And this is what you have to do to get to this. Because what you're looking for is this. And you know how to get there. But you have to do this first. If you don't even need to like know too much about tarot to get what I just said there. But it's all in order, right? I'm making sense. I'm making dollars. I don't make sense. I better make sense, because making sense makes dollars. Never mind. But you get what I mean? You got to control yourself. You got to go within. You got to go deep within yourself to control yourself. But the only way you're going to be able to control yourself and go deep within to see what you want is by giving yourself justice, by holding your sword in your left hand. Well, it's in the right hand, excuse me. By holding the sword in the right hand and the scale in the left, and being determined to actually move forward with these graceful ideas that you have and keeping balance. You have to know what to do and how to do it, go through that rebirth, and then escape to the other side. It's Oh my God, I love it because it's you against you. It's you. It's your heart against your mind. It's literally your heart against your mind. You're the feminine. Any female in the tarot deck is your heart. Any male is your mind. If there are three characters and there's a female and a male and another male, that's just you, your male, your masculine, and then the observer. The observer is going to be the one actually doing motion and action. The other two are going to be stagnant. I'll give you an example of that. Where are the three of pentacles? Right here they are. Here's a good example. The feminine, the masculine, and then here's you, the observer, looking back at the feminine who's holding this scroll in her hand. I actually have a video uploading on the pentacles today that I talked about it a little bit, so I'll talk about it here now. You have the hammer and chisel in your hand. You're ready to create, and you're looking at both the masculine and feminine for the plan to how to move forward. Who has the plan, though? The feminine, the heart, the divine has the plan. The masculine, the mind, is there to tell you what to do. The mind is the monk. It's all there. But we don't tend to think about it like that. This is why it's important. See, this is the whole thing. So, how many people do you know that read tarot that has never talked about it like this before? How many people do you know that read tarot that can't break down the image, to break down the cards like this? This is what reading tarot is. This is just a book. Tarot cards are just a 72-page book about life, and whatever card comes out is whatever page you start on. It don't matter. I could start on whatever page. I don't see many people talking about tarot like this because they don't know how to read tarot. They know how to read what other people regurgitate. They know how to regurgitate words. They know symbolism to a degree, but they don't know what actually is being shown. They don't get it too much, which is fine. But it's important to know. Any animal on the tarot deck represents your mind because it's barking at you. What do your thoughts do? They bark at you. The dogs, the lions. When a thought becomes too much, it becomes scary, ferocious. A lion, it takes courage to overcome that. It takes strength, courage, the lion. The feminine has to cure the heart. The lemniscat, not the infinity symbol, because I'll explain that too. I'll use the magician for it as well. It's not the infinite symbol on the head. That's a lemniscat. An infinity symbol would be a zero. There's no starting point. There's no ending point. There's no meeting point. Infinity is never end. It does not have a defined starting or ending point. A lemniscat has a defined point. It's in the middle. The lemniscat is a ribbon of success. If you look at a bow tie, where do you wear bow ties? Whenever you're doing rituals, you wear them at weddings, which is a ritual. You wear them at funerals, which is a ritual. You wear them at proms. You wear them to look good. It causes something. It's the same form as a lemniscat. You do it to impress. It's there to show that you are worthy. You have some form of status, whether that status is being marital, dead, just looking fancy because that's your job. You know what I mean? It has a status for it. That's a lemniscat, not the infinity symbol. What people call the infinity symbol is just a figure 8 on its side. That's not infinity. That's just 8 on its side. I don't know what the 8 on its side actually means, but if you look up what a lemniscat is, that's achievement it's a ribbon of achievement. And the only reason why it's on the magician and also on strength is because you've overcome and you have victory. You are the one on top. Doesn't have anything to do with the number 8. But people like to say it does. That's the whole point. I want to be. That's why I got the classes up. That's why I'm talking. I'm going to be doing more like lives and like face videos while I just talk about stuff. Because I'm getting a bunch of things that I do want to talk about done because people don't talk about it. Or we have those people that, oh, I know all these things, but I can't talk about it. You can, though. You can talk about some of it. I get that there's some information that will get you killed if you talk about it. But you don't need to talk about that. That's your fear bumping in. You can talk about what you know to a degree. It doesn't have to be in a public, position, but it can definitely be in a position where you're at least informing someone else. You know what I mean? We don't need no more secrets. There's no such thing as a secret, because if you know about it, it can't be a secret. That's the Masonic secret. That's the big secret. There are no secrets. Every Mason in the world knows that. That's the first thing you're taught. Like, what's the biggest secret? There is none. There's no such thing as a secret society because it can't be secret if you know about it. People call them Mason secret societies or the Skull and Bone. That shit's not secret. Everyone knows about that. And if you don't know about it, you'll find out pretty quick what it is and what it's connected to and who's all in it and where it gets you in life and who's running it and who graduated from those places. They ain't no secret. You just ain't dig deep enough. That's what I love. I love seeing people say this is esoteric knowledge. This is a Mason telling the secrets. That is not real. This is an ex-Mason telling a secret. You can't be an ex-Mason. Once a Mason, always a Mason. That's another thing. It don't matter if you break the vows or anything or the oaths or whatever. You're still a Mason till you die. There's no such thing as a past Mason. Oh, this is an ex-Mason. No, they're not. They're still a fucking Mason. You can walk up to an Eastern Star. It doesn't even, like, once you sign, once you do the, once you take the road, once you walk the road, you're a Mason. Ain't no going back. You cannot unlearn that. Once you know it, you know it. It's there. You're a Mason for life. And Masons aren't bad. People like to say Mason's bad. Masonry is about building. Look up what a Masonry is. There are bad people who are Masons, but Masonry itself is not bad. And you'll figure, and like, if you look into Masonry a lot, even with the Eastern Stars, you start to figure out that you're called the daughters of Isis and the sons of Horus, and you learn about all these Egyptian mysteries. You learn about the truth of it, of how things were built up to how they are now. That's not bad. It's just hidden. You know what I mean? They just teach things to you. You have to go through ceremonies and rituals that makes it seem bad. Like, you have to have your own funeral. You have to die and then be brought back to life. Not actually, figuratively, okay? You literally have like a funeral hosted for you, okay? But you have to go through those things. That doesn't mean it's bad. Just, it's a ritual. What do you do when you go to, like, you have a ritual every day in life, but some people don't think about it that way. We're starting to move forward past that in these, like, I don't even know what to call it anymore. Like, the conscious community, like the spiritual community. I don't know what to dialect it to. But those people who believe that those things are bad and they can't ever be good, I don't know where they're at. They're stuck. But most people are moving away from that mentality because it's not inherently bad. It's just people are. The study of stuff isn't bad. You know what I mean? It's just about knowing the truth of what's going on and not going off opinions or going off of what you experience from one individual who followed that label, and just knowing what's actually inside that label. You know what I mean? Like, just because, like, don't you ever hear this? You know this saying, don't let one apple spoil the bunch. That's what a lot of people end up, they say that, but then they end up doing it. You know what I mean? Do I know Julius Evelyn? No, I do not. I do not. I am not a Mason, by the way. I have the family that I was adopted into had a bunch of Masonry in it, and I was very observant as a child. So I asked a bunch of questions. Like, my uncle always wore a Masonry ring, and I always would ask him questions about it. So it's like, I know these things. I haven't walked down the path as an official Mason, but I know what goes on. Like, you just got to ask around. Ask and you shall receive. If you want to be a Mason, walk up to like one of the Mason buildings and knock 3 times every day until they open the door, and then ask them, how do I join? It's that simple. You just got to ask. Knock 3 times, though. It's a 3 times. You got to knock 3 times. That's all I'm going to say. That's for the ones that want to join. I don't know if anyone does want to join. If any brothers in the chat, like, can confirm these things too, whatever, you know, y'all do what you want to do. But regardless, it's just how it is. It's nothing bad about it. It's just about information. And as well, like, you don't even have to, if you even ask like a Mason these questions, you don't have to. I don't know why 3 times. I'm not a Mason. I don't really know why 3 times. If there's anyone who has been a Mason, or who is a Mason, a brother or a sister, even an Eastern Stars, could you, if you know the answer to that, please explain it, because I don't even know. I just know you gotta knock 3 times. But you don't even have to, like, you know, go through the oaths. You can ask Masons questions. They'll either conceal it or reveal it. That's the laws they operate on. Some things you conceal, some things you reveal. You know, every question will be answered. It might not be given the answer that you want, but it will be answered. Okay, thank you. Yeah, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you. You don't even know Jesus. I'm going to be honest. Look, I don't know you, but I'm going to let you know that you don't know Jesus. Because a lot of people who say that Jesus wouldn't be happy don't even know about you. Jesus would be very happy about what I'm doing. If read the Bible. Do you think Jesus stood for the church? Do you think Jesus stood for people being brainwashed and told lies? Or do you think Jesus was sent here to save people and to get people to think for themselves and to follow their own, like, just read the scripture. Read the scripture. You don't know Jesus. You don't even know Jesus, child. You over here saying Jesus wouldn't be proud of you. No, Baphomet would not be proud of me. And if that's your Jesus, then you can keep him. You can keep him. I don't want him. And you don't make rules. You've not made a single rule that I've voted. I know they trolling, but I just love responding to people like that. It helps them, they're programmed to come in, and this is what they're programmed to do. You know what I mean? They don't really have any sort of like control. They go in and they, oh, it's this, it's that, and blah blah blah, and they spew weird shit that doesn't make any sense, right? I have to give them a little bit of a purpose. Like, I'm doing them a favor by having this transaction with them. Like, it's their job to do this. They're not very aware. They're slaves to the system. So to keep them alive and to keep them in the circulation of the system, I have to engage with them because it keeps them operating on some form of system. So, and plus, if they're gonna waste their time in chat, might as well entertain a little bit. You know what I mean? People love the baby Jesus because he get talked back, dude. That was one thing I heard. I I love that one. Oh my god, I've heard that from so many people. That shit makes me laugh. But yeah, we're just here to talk. We're just here to gab, and whoever can catch the words, they catch them. Whoever can't catch the words, I don't know what happens. I've never I've not caught words before, but I don't know. I don't really remember what happens because I try my best to catch them. Tower moment, genuinely. I do my best to keep myself real wed. I'm like, dang, I didn't even say that word right. I said wed. I do not want to be wed right now. Oh, you're wondering about Paul? Don't listen. Anything about Paul? Paul's the deceiver. Paul and Saul, man changed his name because of it. God said, I'm gonna name you this. He goes, no, you're not. I don't want to be named that. I'm naming myself this so I can trick people. Okay, well, awesome. Paul's a fucking deceiver. Paul wrote the books that he wrote genuinely, and it said, I forgot what verse it is. I have to go back and find it. He literally says in the Bible, not verbatim, but it translates basically to, everyone else can write a book, so I'm going to write my own book. I see everyone else writing stories about Jesus, and I had encounters with Jesus, so I'm going to tell my side of the story. When his side of the story was very bitter and petty because Jesus already knew what the fuck Paul was going to do to him. He wasn't going to be like, oh, lovey-dovey, oh, come here, give me kisses. He's going to keep him at a distance and be like, hey, you're cool, but I know who you are, and I know what you're doing, and I know who sent you here. I know why you're here. And you're going to die me 3 times before the fucking chickens crow. And then you did. Paul was just nothing but a deceiver who was sour, and he didn't believe it until he fulfilled the prophecy of, you're going to deny me 3 times before the chickens crow. It's like, no, I'm not. I don't believe in you. And then he did it 3 times. Oh, you know Jesus? No, I don't know. Who the hell is that? Isn't that one of the disciples? One of the who? Hell no, I don't fuck with him. And then the 3rd time the crowd goes like, damn, well, I did it 3 times. Shit, I guess I am the deceiver. And then he felt bad and started crying. That's Peter and Paul. Paul. I think they're the same. I'm not really sure. Paul, I have to look back in my notes. Paul goes by 3 or 4 names in the Bible. Like, actually. Because Peter, why do I keep saying Peter? Paul made up a character in the Bible to greater his story, to give his story more backbone. So you really have to delve deep into it. Like, man, like, it's nuts, man. I had the Bible next to me. I just don't remember where it's at. And it's the King James version, so it's not even translated clearly. People like to say that it's the easiest to read. It's not. It's just the most popular. The King James version is not the easiest to read. It is just the most popular, and it's the one that's taught the most. So it's like in the system. It is interesting how people react. People react in different ways to different things. I like watching people react. I don't like instigating on people, but if someone has a reaction, I'll definitely look at it. What's up? Not much. We just got finished talking about a bunch of things. You missed out. People talk about removing moles to have babies. I know, that shit was weird. Like, I don't know. I would like to, at some point, have, like, I don't want to call it Bible classes, because I might attract, God, if I called it that, I would attract so many crowds. I might have to because of it. But at some point, I want to go through very specific verses within the Bible and break them down for those that don't know how to or are looking for an answer for it, because it's interesting what you'll find. It gets even more interesting when you realize that Adam might have been having sex with animals because there wasn't a mate for him. You know, that says that in Genesis. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole right now. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole right now. I don't want to. I'll save it for another day. I'll give y'all the verse if you want to look into it and read it, because I have it marked because I thought that shit was funny when I realized it. I was like, ain't no way they just said that he had sex with the animals. It's Genesis chapter 2, verse 20. I'll read it for you. And Adam gave names to all the cattle and the fowl in the air, to every beast of the field, but for Adam there was not found a helpmate for him. And I'm gonna just leave it like that. I'll break it down at some point a little bit deeper, but he couldn't find a mate within all those animals. I'm not saying it happened, but I'm saying it's saying something that relates really closely to it. It could have happened. I wasn't there, so I don't know. You know what I mean? No, it's not digging. It says it right there. There was no mate within the animals. He named all the cattle, all the bird. He named everything. What does it mean to name something? Look that up. But there wasn't a mate found for him. Why couldn't he find a mate? Why he was looking for a mate, and all around him are animals. There's not much digging. It's just putting two and two together. I'm not accusing Adam of doing nothing. I'm just saying, if Adam was looking around for a mate and see nothing but animals, and he knew it wasn't gonna work, how did he know? It doesn't say God said. It did not say God said you can't have sex with these animals. God just said name them. I'm not saying what happened. I'm just saying what's there. And there's no evidence defending or agreeing with it. I'm just putting a statement out there because it's out there. And I also want to mention Adam's rib was not taken out. It's not a rib, it was a ribosome. You did not make a man out of a rib. You make a man out of a ribosome. Look up how people clone animals and shit. They go into the DNA, they take the ribs out of the DNA. It's a little bit deeper than the flesh on that one. It says it right after. Oh, does it? Let me look. I just wanted to name it because it had it marked. Let me go check them. If it says it right after, I'll read the next verse then. Or is that the ribosome? Yeah, and the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. Yeah, this is the deep sleep. You can, okay, so from what I was figuring out from this, from like the verse 21 through 23, the whole like, and the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept and took one of his ribs and closed up his flesh instead of thereof, and the rib which the Lord had taken from man, he made woman. That whole thing. When you got put into a deep sleep, what does that remind you of? Why do you need to be deep? Why do you need to be put in deep sleep? That sounds like surgery. Why do you do surgery? How do you remove a rib? You put them to sleep. I'm not saying too much. I'm just going to tell you that someone had operations on them and had their DNA ripped out of them and then put into a new one. And then they cloned Adam. I'm not going to say it was for certain, but the only way to make I'm not going to go too deep in it. Y'all can look up the chromosome layout of men and women. You can do that. You can research cloning and you can put those pieces together. I'll break it down in another video another day. I'm gonna save that for its own little section because I do this a lot where I'll bring up stuff like this in the middle of like an hour-long video, and not that many people get to this point unless they sit here live. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll write it down so I remember. Biology doesn't make this stuff a chaotic mess. The chaotic mess is already there. It's the opinions that make the mess. Biology just cleans it up. It's the ego where you don't want to believe in facts, don't want to believe in the truth that causes the mess. The only mess that is inside. Biology tells you the full facts. Biology and science tells you everything. That's why whenever you look for the smallest microbe, the smallest atom, or whatever the fuck we're looking on next, the smallest whatever the hell, you know what I'm talking about, the smallest molecules that we have on this planet, why every time it goes down to one, a second one appears. Because there can never be one. There's not such thing as one thing. It comes from two. You have to have two to make three, because one and one is three. Mommy and daddy make me. The only way you can have my goodness, I gotta go down and deep with this, but you gotta have three. Look at it, it's all the way through. You gotta have three to make, you gotta have it. You gotta have the two, the Holy Trinity, the whole thing. We work off threes, 3, 6, and 9. Those are why those numbers exist. 3, I think 3 is the Trinity, 6 is death, and 9 is life. And these are ethers, and this goes into chemistry at that point. How much do you think before you speak? Speak on what? The Book of Enoch. I have not read the Book of Enoch. I need to, though. I have it as a PDF on my laptop. I just haven't read it yet. I need to, for sure, because it goes into depth with the Sumerians, and it talks about a lot of the Anunnaki, and it talks a lot about Anu, and Anu's bloodline, and all of that. I know that for sure. But I haven't really delved into it too much, so I probably should read it at some point. But then 9 is the highest number, and I love saying that so much. I love when people say 9 is not the highest number, because they'll never tell me a number that's higher than 9. Some people will say 10, but that's just 1. That's a compound number of 1 and 0. That's not higher than 9. Those are two numbers that are less than 9. The highest equation we had, there it is right there, 10, I love it. No, 10 is a compound number between 1 and 0. 1 and 0 are both less than 9. You can find them on the left to the number. They're less than 9. It's a compound number. Same thing as compound words. We have compound numbers, compound, put them together. In English? Yeah, in English, yeah. Only 9 numbers in English. Give me a new symbol past 9 in the English numerology. There's not a new symbol. They're compound symbols. 1 and 0 is just 1 and 0. There's no number higher than 9. 9 to the ninth power of 9 is the highest number, and that's your true infinity, if you want to break it down like that. 11 is not higher. 11 breaks down to 2 because in numerology you add up numbers. 10 is really 1. 11 is 2 because it's 1 more and 2 more and 3 more than 9, which is the highest number. It's all addition. Add them up. People don't get that though. People like grab on to what they are. It's the truth though. X's. It's a Roman numeral though. Same thing as saying same thing as 1 and 0. X is just saying 1 more. And then we have 1x. So x isn't even a new introduction to it because 1x is 9. So then what would x just be on its own? It'd be starting over at x, which would be the first. And then xi, 2, xi. You see? It goes off symbols, not the actual definition of how things are. It's layered up like that. It's weird. But it's the matrix and how it's ran. We operate off of 1s and 0s, and how many 1s and 0s does it take to make 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. All the way up to 9. And then that goes into computer coding. And if we have any if you have any coders or like computer like I don't want to call y'all computer nerds, but because I'm one too a little bit, but it goes all in the coding and all sorts of stuff when you start talking about 1s and 0s. You talk about the matrix, you know about that all the way if you do coding. So it's a whole thing. It is a whole thing. But 9 is the highest number. You can never go higher than 9. And if you can, I would like to see a new symbol. I would like to see a symbol that is not presented at the number of 9 or at the highest degree of 9. I would like to see a symbol that's higher than 29 in Roman numerals that doesn't already have the symbol for 9 in the number. 0? No, 0 is not higher than 9. 0 is invisible. 0 is the egg. 0 is the ovium, I believe, is what it's connected to in biology. But 0 is the invisible. It is the divine. It is the spiritual. It doesn't exist within the physical realm. It's not higher than 9. It's part of 9. Yeah, the highest number is 9. Everything advanced beyond. Yeah, but okay. So go to the Roman numeral of 9, right? That is IX. X is in the number 9 in those Roman numerals. That means when you go to X, it's not a new number. It's not a new symbol. It's already presented within 9. So it's not higher than 9. It's a part of 9. We're done with Roman numerals. Yeah, take it to English. Show me one that's higher than English. Show me a number that has a new symbol that's higher than 9, that does not use any number before 9 or any symbol before 9 that's higher than 9. You cannot. It is impossible. Unless you make one up and make up a whole number, there's none. And people can't, you gotta like be okay with that. Oh my goodness. Raw popped back up. Thank you for the gift. I seen it that time. That time it didn't scare me. That time I seen it. Thank you, Mark. I don't know why everyone thinks 8 is infinity. It's not. 8 is not infinity. Ellipsis is infinity. No, a circle is infinity. Excuse me. 0 would really be infinite. There's no starting point or ending point. Everything exists within infinity because it doesn't have a beginning or end. 8 is a test. 8 is a test to bring you to 9 8 is part of the struggle. 8 is the loop. You've already won down one side, you're going down the other. That's why it looks like that. Hold up. Let me get you the number 8. And I'll go ahead and I'll do this too. I'll make it look like a bow tie on purpose. So I'm gonna hold it straight up too. With the number 8, it has the 0 point in it. It's meeting. All 8 is the test. You come back around to the other side of things. 8's not infinity. It's a cycle, but it's not infinity. It has a starting point and an end point. If you fail the test at 8, you go back to 1. You don't complete the test at 8. You don't complete what you're actually circling around to do. You start something new. You failed the test. So that brings you to 9. 9 is the completion. 8's the test, 9's the completion. 10, 1, 0 puts you back at step 1, but it puts you 1 ahead. It's the next level. 10 is 1, 0. Instead of it being 0, 1, because if we're going to talk about it in that sense, coding 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1 would be 1. 1, 0 would be 1 to the next. It'd be the next level of things. You go to 9, you pass it, go to 1, 0. I mean, yeah, 1, 0. Then you have 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, right? It's the next level. It's the next step. It's not higher. It's just a new level. 9 is as high as you can go. After you pass 9, you're on a new brick. Doesn't mean it's higher than 9. Just means it's a new level. But this is like computer coding. If you know anything about computer coding or anything about Matrix or anything of like not the Matrix as in like the movie or the government, but like the Matrix as in like how things are coded, what code actually is, what the code is, and all these things. That's how it works. That's literally what computer coding is. It's a bunch of 1 and 0s. And just like the life, where are you going? Are you the 1 or are you the 0? Genuinely. Where are you going? Are you staying in the realm of infinity or are you being defined? And then if you're being defined, how are you being defined? What defines you? What position do you put yourself in? It's how it is. It's what it be. Once you break that code, you're free. But you got to break the code first. Speak on the number 7. Let me think for a minute. 7, let me think. 7 is the shock. Okay, so anyway, first of all, before I say anything, I'm glad I remembered this. Before I even say anything relating to the number 7 is talking about the 7 chakras. Anything with the number 7 talks about the chakras. Off bat. 7 also relates to the Sabbath. It means to wait. It's the stopping point. It's when you rest. It's when you sit back and let the divine do what the divine needs to do. 7 is a waiting point. It's an incomplete flag. It's your waiting. It's the hook. You have to wait for something to come in. 7 is the number of the divine. You wait. The 7 virtues, the 7 sins. Things are enabled out by 7. It's the levels, right? 7 heavens, 7 hells, etc., 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 right? When you have 7, that's waiting. What is the divine going to do next? That's the test. When you figure out what the divine's doing for you, when you figure out what you're doing and you're waiting, then the divine tests you. Are you going to fall for the 7 deadly sins? Are you going to fall for gluttony? Are you going to jump the gun? Are you going to overwork or underwork? You know, that's the test of you. Are you going to work more or work less? Are you going to wait? Are you going to be patient? The number of patience. I don't know why it took me a while to remember the number 7. I was clicked out for a minute. But that's what 7 is. When it comes down to things, it is the test. It is 7's heaven, basically. When you're at 7, you're waiting on heaven, or you're waiting in heaven, depending on who you are and where you're at. When you hit 8, that is you cooperating with heaven. You took the divine's mission, you waited, you're doing the thing, you're being tested now with the divine, and you either pass the test at 9, and 9 is the deciding factor. It's the number of death. Death will either mean you restart and everything ends, or you go to the next level and you rebirth, right? OAC 78, that's 15, breaks down to 6. That is to do with the spiritual senses, the 6th sense. That is when you are working with, because 5 is the 5 senses, and 4 is I believe the spiritual, 4 is related to matter and time. And when you look at 5, when you look at 4 for a minute, you look at, okay, hold on. I forgot, hold on, let me get this. Do I even remember how to draw this 4? I do. All right, for some of you that draw the 4s like that with like a flag, there's a saying that says, "Look at the 4 till it turns into a 5." When you see the 4 as a flag, look at it until it turns into a 5 to break a code in the matrix. And that you solve a code in the matrix by doing that, and that's your perception. 5 is your mental, your mind operating with what's already there, matter and time. 6 is your spiritual sense that's working in cooperation with what you're already getting within your mind from what matter and time is showing you. I gotta break that down like that. I'll see you later. Peace out. Have fun. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. I had to break it down like that. I don't know why I did. I just did. I felt like it makes more sense. But if we're gonna go off the true numerology of these things, that's what we're looking at. 3 is the masculine energy, because mommy and daddy make me. 1 and 2 equals 3. 1 and 1 is 3 really, but 1, 2. 1 and 2 make up 3. So you need to have that, you need to have 1. I forgot what 1 represents. I have to go back at my notes and look, unless I remember it. 2 is the feminine, and 3 is the masculine, because 2 receives 1. 2 receives an extra 1, and that makes it 2. That's the feminine. 3 is the masculine, the actual action of doing things. Into 4, because 3 is you putting masculine energy, putting things out into matter and time so that you can observe it from your mind, which is 5. There's a whole like scheme that goes with it. I'm trying to like remember it all, because there's a whole rhyme that goes with this. I forgot it all. You'll put me on this spot with numerology. Yeah, I'm not in a numerology energy right now. But 0 is the spiritual, and 1 is the physical. 0 is the spiritual, 1 is the physical, because things come from pyre down to earth. Pyre is divine fire. So from invisible to physical, from left to right. So you go from 0 to 1. You add another 1, that's the feminine, because you receive 1, and then I'm not going to go through the rhyme. I have to like write the rhyme down to remember it, because it's a whole thing, and I can't like off the dome it right now. But that's numerology for you. I'm gonna like, I broke it down in a video, but I also included like angel numbers and stuff in it, so I'll probably do another video in the future describing where did my note go? There it is. I'll probably do another video in the future about like the numerologies and it just on itself, instead of adding angel numbers into it, because numerology is very, it describes what life's happened. It describes life. It's biology. Numerology is biology. The numbers describe the states of evolution of who you are and what you do, of the birth cycle, of being born, everything. Like, numerology is not what most people think it is. It's a blueprint for life and the steps to life. Oh my god. What was I gonna do? Numerology. Numerology. There we go. I have a lot of stuff written on this paper already. Yeah, anytime you see 4, that's the 4 elements. Fire, water, air, and earth. So that includes the 4 winds, the matter and time. Anything to do with matter and time is 4. That's why I say go back to square 4. Square 4 is your planning state. When you're planning, when things are beginning to become too physical, anything developing out within the realms, of matter and time, anything that describes the location and the distance to how long it's going to get there, how long the item is, measurements, that's all about 4. So yeah, the 4 winds and everything. And the 4 winds are really, I forgot the name of them, but the 4 winds, when people call them angels, they're really talking about ET, extraterrestrial, extraterrestrials out of this world, who were on Tiamat, when the planet was still aquatic and blue and had no land, they sent ships out because Nibiru went off course because of the gravitational pulls of the planets that it was. I think it was the gravitational pulls of like Saturn and Jupiter. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. It has something to do as well with the electromagnetic waves of the sun. But when Nibiru was flying past Tiamat, they thought it was an invasion, and they went out and flew. So the four winds are what tore off the moon from Earth. It caused it. Like I don't need to make a video on it. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I know people know what I'm talking about. I'm on the track. I gotta make a video. I'm gonna have this whole paper full of shit by the time I'm gone, and then I'm gonna have to like. It's okay. I love doing this shit because I have these notes already. That's the thing. I already have the notes of it. I have screenshots on my computer, from the holy tablets of how these things work. So I gotta like get all of it made out because I'm gonna definitely. What I'm really wanting to do is I want to have videos with the photos again, but this laptop that I have is so ass that it struggles with rendering videos, and I can't render videos anymore. So I'm trying to find a way to go around it, to get around all this stuff, so I can actually get the videos out in the quality that I'm wanting them. But we'll talk about that, the four winds. Because the four winds are interesting to talk about, because it has a lot to do with why Earth's on its axis, because Earth is on more of an axis than it should be because of what happened with the whole four winds and everything of that nature. I miss the lives too. I like going live, but I don't know why I said but. I genuinely, some days I forget, and other days I'm busy. So I'm like editing my schedule to be less busy so I can go live more. And at least earlier too, because I don't have to go live at night all the time. I went live, I don't know, like almost like 2 hours ago or something. And I was like, I'm not doing anything at all right now. I might as well just go live. Lives do take a toll, but it's just, I could definitely make more room to go live. But there's no but to it. I just need to start making more time. Like, that's it. Like, full stop. There's no but. It does take a lot of energy, and I need to make more time for it. Just the correct way to say that. I don't like using but. I don't like excuses. I'm good. I like to stop and rephrase myself. Because at the end of the day, if I know a better way of saying something, I will always stop and allow myself to catch up with me to get it said right. If I don't know it, I say like for a better term. And then if I remember, I'll go back to it. Because like, it's just what I do. I wasn't really raised that way. I just kind of adopted into it. Because it's just, I want to be conscious of what I say, and that's like a daily battle, by the way. Like, it's not like everyone's just going to be conscious of what they say constantly. You have to like listen to what you're saying and make sure it makes sense. Sometimes you got to hold your tongue. A lot of people just like to hear themselves talk. I like to hear myself talk because I like talking, but if I'm going to speak, I want it to be useful. I want it to be something that can at least be educational. And if I have to give an opinion on it, I'll give my opinion, but I want to preface that it's my opinion and not something that I know. You know what I mean? So I always do my best with that. I have not read Reality Transfiguring. It will definitely be in my vault of my head. Do you know the author of the book, or is it just in general? Are you just asking to study up on it, or what? Regardless, I'm always interested in learning new things and studying new things. So I will always be down for that. How am I? I'm doing good. I'm scrolling up, it's like checking stuff. Yeah, I'm glad people are coming in to catch the lives. I say this every live I do. I love going live and I want to do it more, and I am. There's no buts about it. I just will. Because because I don't know. I like talking to people. I like teaching. I like knowing what people's up to. I like knowing people's opinions. It's not about really debating people. It's just about knowing what they think and knowing what I think and coming together to see if we can make any more sense of what we already know. And if we can't, then whatever. If we can, awesome. You know, it doesn't matter either way. You gotta get back to work. Have fun at work. Try to have fun at work. I always say have fun. I don't care. Like, people say I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll say have fun. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I haven't like sat down and asked myself why I say have fun. Or I'll say good luck. I'll either say have fun or good luck. I don't I'll have like I'm gonna take a shower, good luck. What does that mean? Like I need to like ask myself these questions. No, you're good, Mark. All good. It was nice having you here. Thank you for stopping by. No, dude, debating is awful because just like I don't want to debate. I want to exchange ideas. Because it's like people will say it's debating, and then people will say it's arguing. I'm just sharing my idea, and the debate and the argument comes from within. If I know something to be one way and you know it to be another way, that's cool. But let's get down to the nitty gritty because in between of those two sides of the coin is there's going to be a truth in there, and I'm open to know what that truth is. A lot of people just aren't, unfortunately. Will you be speaking truth now? I've been speaking truth for a minute. You can look on my videos and stuff. I've been speaking truth for a little while. I try not to lie. And by that I mean if I don't, if I say something, it's most likely me. Oh, not me. Okay, low. Nice. Oh, word. My bad. My bad. I just looked up like wavy speaking truth. I was like, probably. That's the thing, man. Humility. You gotta love it. I don't know. I mean, he can say it's truth, but I mean, well, they can say it's truth. I'll leave it like that. But that's an opinion. You know, when you really start studying the words, because like, look, because I'm down to talk about it, but if homie doesn't look up what the word black means, I'm not interested in talking to him. Or the word civil, because I gave points, I gave research points, but if people don't do research, I ain't, that's on them. I see where they're at, I'm done talking type of stuff, because I ain't got time. Yeah, I don't have time to, I ain't got time to gratify you on that one, big dog. You gotta go do some research, it's okay. Yeah, I know you don't argue with people who are uninformed because you were arguing with me yesterday, and I'm very informed, and I shut you down because you left because you couldn't say anything about what I was saying other than it was a lie. There was no evidence or no proof. You brought up someone else's name instead of going off of what you knew. So you don't argue with people that are unintelligent. You argue with people who are intelligent because you are unintelligent. You're not intelling anything. You're not getting in information. You're not gathering information so you can have it inside of you to tell it. Intelligence. But we on different waves. You weren't timed out. Not to my knowledge, not to my remembrance. Yeah, it's whatever. See, if someone's gonna go to insulting, I already know who they are. The fact that they had to say unlike you proves who they are, and that shows a sign of a lack of intelligence, because you shouldn't have to insult to be intelligent. But you know, some people, they on the seesaw effect of that stuff. I don't insult. I'll tell you what's going on. There, now you're timed out. Do us, man, just do a favor. Anyone can do this. Just look up what the word black means. Look up the origin of the word black and look up the origin of the word civil. That's literally the 2 points that he wants to bring up and talk about. Black means dead, and civil is to make things docile. To make civil is to make lower, to make peace. What does making peace do? What does the civil laws do? What did that do? What is a civil war? A war on civil. A war on being, you know what I mean? It's all there in the words. I don't have to explain it. You could look it up. It's very easy. In the age of Aquarius, I would expect more people to do that, especially because we have the technology around us. But to each their own, you know. Etymology is the only thing I care about anymore. Etymology translates to truth. It is the study of the truth. When you look up the etymology of words, you're getting down to why that word is used, what it actually means. Same thing with origins. You have to go to that stuff. You have to, because if you don't, you're going off an opinion and you're just going off of a spell that someone else put on over that word to make you think it means something else rather than looking up it yourself. So you got to do this research. I don't know. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard, but I mean, people like to people just like to talk. People just like to hear their own voice and their own opinion voiced out. They like to recruit people rather than teach. I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. Like, I didn't time you out. You just got timed out because someone didn't like what you were doing. Simple as that. Had nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? We keep it peaceful in here. It's not a war zone here. We're trying to get people out of the war so they can start seeing what they need to stand for, which is keeping the kids safe and teaching the kids what's going up. Because we really got to keep these kids safe. Because, like, the amount of bullshit that is spat out. Because, like, we have, like, I don't know. It's so awful, dude. Like, the music industry, Baphomet is all over the kids. That's all they want to do is fucking either convert the kids over to what they're doing, or sexually assault the kids, or get rid of them, or you know what I mean. You know, put them in shipping containers and shit. That's all they care about is putting fear into these kids' mind. We gotta start teaching. The children are the future. That's the thing you have to realize. The children are the future. It's not even like an opinion. They are. The child that you have, their whole life and what they do determines what happens for their child, or the children around them, or the people that they're around as well. You hurt someone's feelings in like middle school, and they grow up and they hold on to that resistance, and then someone else does that to their child, and they tell that child to beat that kid up, and then that other kid gets beat up, and then they go home and start screaming at their parents and being abusive to their parents, or they start being abusive to other kids. You see what I mean? Like, that comes from a child who was basically training and programming another child to react in a certain way whenever things are brought up. We have to deprogram everyone and reprogram them to think for themselves, and to like not like be so hostile and violent towards people. Like, damn. And it's not even just about violence. It's about over sexualization. It's about keeping their minds clean. It's about like keeping their bodies clean, letting them know who they are before, so they're not lost, letting them know that that the whole world is in their hand. I need to make America healthy again. We all need to do it. It's not just me, it's everyone. It's just we have to like do it. That's the thing. Everyone's talking about doing it, but we got to start exposing and talking about truth. Like, I remember I talked about we need to homeschool kids, and someone said that homeschooling is evil. And that confused the fuck out of me, because I'm sitting here thinking, how is homeschooling evil if the school system that people go in, they're... So first of all, let me break this down for you. I was in school, and when I was in school, I witnessed a lot of the crazy shit that happens in reality in school. And that's not a good thing, because being 14 years old, I didn't need to know that some kid had a baseball bat shoved up his ass while I was in school. I didn't need to know that some kid got sodomized in the bathroom and that we were all put on lockdown because there were a group of 5 kids who watched it all happen, including the coach. I didn't need to know that. I didn't need to know that our teachers had a sex swinging group growing up in high school. I didn't need to know that at age 14, 15, 16. I didn't need to know that my teachers, after on the weekends, were doing drugs and having sex. I didn't need to know that. I didn't need to know that kids were having sex in school either. I wasn't going to school for that. I was trying to get some form of education that I was promised, and I didn't learn a damn fucking thing. Except for things that I paid attention to in biology and science. I didn't give a damn about history, because that shit didn't make any sense to me at all. They didn't explain a damn thing. It was just quizzing me on how well I could remember someone else's story. I don't really care about that. I'm gonna look it up myself. I know bits and pieces, but I paid attention to what I needed to pay attention to. I did not learn about anything. What I learned in history class is what it felt like to be treated as a Jew, because in middle school, our whole school system made us be either Nazis or Jews, and I was a Jew, so I was sat out in the hallway and watched kids get beat with brooms, and kids had their lunch thrown away. I watched kids be abused. That's what I learned in middle school about the whole Holocaust for a week straight. Do you think that's teaching me a damn thing? No, that's teaching me that y'all are some sick-ass people and that the adults do not give a damn about the kids. That's what that taught me. I had a crazy ass... I know for a fact, too, that I got some people from my high school watching me right now, too. They might not be watching me on the live, but they're going to be watching this video at some point. They know I'm going to talk. They know what I'm talking about. I have witnesses. I could get you a news article. I don't make this shit up. This is the life I had to live growing up. It was fucking scary. I didn't like it. Not one bit. Shit was rough. And this is what I had to go through in school. So now I'm thinking, if I had to go through this in school, what the fuck are these other kids going through? Because as time evolves, now these kids are getting crazier. They're on their phones a lot. They're doing crazy shit. They're thinking that they're in gangs and doing all this dumb shit. What the fuck are they doing? What are the teachers doing to them? If the teachers are doing that to me, what the fuck are they doing to them? Like, the fuck? Like, come on. And all these things happen, and not a lot of parents hear about it because the kids don't know what the fuck to talk about. I didn't know how to tell my mom and dad that I was a Jew in middle school and was being beat with a broom and like segregated from my friends. I didn't know how to explain to them that the only black kid in school was a Jew and was being abused by the teachers. I didn't know how to express that self. I didn't know how to express in 4th grade when a teacher called me the hard R and blamed me for locking a girl in the bathroom whenever someone had the same skin tone as me. I didn't know how to express racism in school to my parents. I knew how to say that I didn't want to be my color in kindergarten because I was called the hard R by multiple people in kindergarten, but I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what the process behind that was. I didn't know why these people were calling me it. I just knew it was a name that I didn't like to hear. You know what I mean? This is just my experience. I didn't know how to express this stuff to my parents at all. I didn't know what it was, what it meant. I knew that we had Mexicans in the school, but I was the only black kid. So whenever they did something, I'd be the one to get blamed. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know that teachers just wanted to blame me because my ethnicity was different than others and that I was the odd one out despite me being the same color as like 3 or 4 people. I didn't know how to explain that. And me knowing that, I don't feel comfortable keeping that stuff quiet and not helping the kids grow and teach some truth or teach some things about how to stand up for yourself and stuff, knowing that kids are going through that shit, same as me, worse or lesser, doesn't even matter. I witnessed it. I went through it. I grew through it. I know how it is. I don't want to see anyone else go through it. You know what I mean? Exactly. I don't want to go too deep within the victim mentality. That shit shaped me for who I was. No, I'm not Muslim. I'm black. I forgot the disease name, but my skin is just going to get lighter and lighter over time. Unless I get treatment for it, which I'm going to get UV lights to help me with that. But that shit is rough. Like I don't feel comfortable doing it because it's like I know how it was. I've seen teachers molest kids before in school, and it's like growing up, you don't know how to express it. Even if you were the one who witnessed it or just heard about it, it's like yeah, I'm black. Yeah, black. Hey, lol. Yeah, I'm dead. No, I'm technically, if we're gonna get down to the roots of it, I'm Egyptian, so I'm Kemetic. If we're gonna get down to the roots of it, but in society standards, I'm black. In the matrix system, I'm black. But actually, I'm Kemetic Egyptian. You can look it up. But that's the truth of it. If we're gonna get down to the basis of it, I should probably start saying that more. But at the same time, no, there's no but about it. That's right. No, there's no but about it. I should just say no more. Thank you for correcting me. See what I do? I will stop myself. I will correct myself if I have to. Like, no, I'm not gonna say but. We know we can do it. You just gotta start doing it. Ain't no reason. Ain't no reason to not. But yeah. But yeah, we're all shades of wheat at the end of the day for sure. But I don't know. Why do I keep saying but? That is like the worst integer that was ever it's like. I just said it twice. It is like. It's like and but. I hate like those are word. Can we get rid of those integers? Can I like? I want to erase them. I don't like them. That's what I do. I have to correct excuses because I was raised in a family that made excuses. I was like emotionally abused, physically abused, mentally abused. And it was, oh, but this, but that. So I was raised around a bunch of buts. So now I'm 25 and I gotta be like, I can't say but. I have to say and. There's no opposition. There's just an additive to it. I can't say but. And it's a struggle. But once you stop saying but for things and start saying and or this is also something and not saying but, it gets better because but just means you're saying the opposite. I love you, but what do you mean but? You love me, but now you're gonna go in front of the I love you and say something then? Because that's all that but means. You're agreeing to just disagree, which you know what I mean? English is awful. Nubian Nation, let's go. What's up? I'm glad to see that we have some Nuwapians up in here. Like I really am, because that shit makes me happy. Really, really happy that I'm reaching out to y'all because I want to help everyone learn, and it just makes me feel good to see that there's other Nuwapians up in here. I'm blessed to be where I'm at 25. I like not even just like position wise, just intellect wise. I could be on the streets doing drugs. I at one point in my life I was doing drugs. Not hard ones, but I was still doing drugs regardless. You know what I mean? I I went through that cyclone. I jumped out. I'm like, it's rough, but it's life. Hey, we have to go through it. And I I don't know. I really don't know how else to talk about it. It's just there are people that I went to high school with, and everyone can vouch for this who's like out of high school and everything. I've witnessed people who are in like my age who left out of high school who like are awful. Like they're already arrested. Some of them are dead already. Some of them are strung out on drugs. A lot of it's just awful. So, because I didn't go to college, so I didn't even have like the college experience. I went to a community college while I was in high school. I got my bachelor's degree in audio engineering. So while I was in my senior year of high school, I was also taking college. And they wouldn't let, so this is the funniest part. They wouldn't let me leave to go to college, but they let some kid, because we had like the last like two periods of the day, the last two classes of the day or whatever, you could go to work. That was like your student to work hours. I asked if I could go to my college for my last two periods because I wasn't doing anything in those classes. And they told me no. But they told some kid who was okay, so first of all, they were not I'm gonna ego boost a little bit on this one because it confused me why I wasn't allowed to go study more and why this kid was allowed to go home and play video games. But he was apparently on an esports team and they let him go home to play video games for 2 hours instead of letting me go to college for 2 hours. So I was like, he can go home and play video games and jerk off, but I can't go learn something that's gonna value me for my future. And he said, no, you can't. It was okay, and I beat that kid. We played on the senior year on the last few days of school. There's no way he was part of some sort of like he was not under like any sort of gaming contract. There's no way. This dude was ass. I'm not even like joking. We played Black Ops 2. I kicked his ass at the game. Rematched. I beat him again. I got up and left because I wasn't even going to play. But for some reason, he was on an esports team. I don't get it. I don't know why people can just say shit like that and just let it slip. That's boggled me. It doesn't bother me, but it's like I have to tell the story because why was I not allowed to go get more education? Why would they let someone just go home and throw their life away? Because they don't care at all. They let someone throw their life away. They don't even play video games anymore. What happened after that is they fried their brain on acid. They took acid for a whole year straight after high school and then fried their brain. So that's what they let some kid do. But I couldn't go to college for like 2 hours every day. Like every Wednesday, I think. It was every Wednesday I was just going to take half a day off and go there and learn. And they said I couldn't do that. So I went there on the weekends instead. So I went Monday through Friday high school, Saturday college, and then had Sundays off for 1 whole year of high school, which was really fun. It actually wasn't that bad, but it was awful during testing time because when I had the tests in high school, I also had the tests in college, and that was awful. So that was an experience to go through. But that taught me time management and how to handle pressure because I was under a lot of it. But it was fun. But the education system does not care at all. They don't give a fuck. They would rather see you out on the street strung out than actually educated. And it's fucking awful. I had a teacher in high school who quit the year after I graduated 11th grade, so junior year. I was failing math, and I was like, look, I don't want to fail math. Can you help me? And he was like, you're the only kid that's failing that came up to me and asked for help, so I'm going to make sure you pass my class. And he got me, I passed. Like, I ended up getting straight A's after that, straight through on that math class. And he quit the year after that because it was just like, I would assume it was kind of depressing to only have one kid who wasn't failing that class who actually came up to ask for help. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been like that. I want, like, when I have a question, I'm going to ask it. I want to learn. I want to know shit. You know what I mean? Ask and you shall receive. It's the law of life. If you don't ask, you're not going to know. Don't be afraid to ask. There's no such thing as a dumb question. If you don't know, you just don't know. But that's what's up. Like I've just learned from my experiences of life. I don't think y'all know how much self-reflection I do a day. I will reflect on an action I did like 15 minutes ago and be like, I could have done this instead, or I could have done this sooner. And then I just keep it in my pocket and move on and remember it for next time. Like every second I self-reflect, but it's not in like a judgmental way where I'm hurting myself, but I always want to better myself. And it's not like an ego thing either. It's just I know I could do better because I've been put in positions that push me to do better. But now that I'm not having all sorts of stress on me, I'm having to do it myself. So I got to keep myself in check. I love teaching people though, because the more I teach people, the more I learn about myself. The only way you can learn to be a teacher is if you teach people. You have to know how to talk, how to present things, who you're presenting things to. That's the whole point of having these conversations, just talking. You know a little bit more about me, I know a little bit more about you, whoever you are, and then we just connect. It just becomes that sort of thing, because you can't teach someone that doesn't give a fuck about you. It just will not work. That's why schools don't work. You either like the teacher or you don't, or you're in between, and you can tell by like the grades. If the kid does not like the class and don't like the teacher, they're not going to have really good grades. They like the teacher but they don't like the class, they're going to have semi-grades. Same thing if they don't like the teacher but like the class, semi-grades. If they like the teacher and love the class, they're going to have fucking great grades. That's how it is. It's a connectivity. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't understand the subject, but it's because you're not involving yourself enough in it. You don't like it for some reason. There's something keeping you away. But Yeah, we need it, like, because I mean, the biggest thing about like talking to yourself is making sure that you're good with yourself at judgment day. Like, that's really the only reason why. And I had so many people on that short comment like, are you talking to yourself, or this is for you, you're only talking to yourself about that? No, I do that every night. I'll lay down, I might not look in the mirror every night, but I'll sit down and reflect and be like, damn, I did this like 7 years ago. I could have handled that better. And I'm not gonna neglect myself from thinking or knowing that I could do something better. I'm gonna say I knew how to do this better. I forgive myself for acting out that way. I'm gonna do better. Simple as. You just got to make sure you're good with yourself, because at the end of the day, it's just you and you. And if you don't like what you've done or yourself, child, oh my God, then good luck. Because you already know what you're going to do to people that you don't like. What are you going to do to you if you don't like what you did? You're going to eat yourself up. But you're going to be the one feeling it, because it's you and your energy. Ain't no one else's. It's rough. Think about the future. Now, think about be in the present moment. Don't be thinking in the past. Don't be in the future. Think in the present. Your actions in the present change your future. The only reason you need to look into the past is to make sure that you're bettering yourself in the present so that your future's bright. The only reason you look into the future is to see if where you're at right now is going to match up to that. Be in the present. Use the future. Use the past as a lesson, and use the future as a momentum. I can't think of the word. I'm going to say a momentum. As a goal. Use the future as a goal. That's a better word. Use the future as a goal and use the past as a lesson. You need to stay present though. But you have, like, here the difference is I choose to do that. So it's not even like an unconscious thing. I consciously am like, what have buried in deep inside of me that bothers me to this day? What can I do to help myself with that? What can I do to heal this? And then I just deal with it at that point. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because, like, at the end of the day, you know what's best for you. And know what? It doesn't matter who comes to you, who says what. You know what's best for you at the end of the day. You will always know what's best for you at the end of the day. And if you can't trust yourself into giving yourself the best answer that you need at that time, that's an issue. Because now you're going to be looking for external things that won't validate what you want, and it's going to cause a lot of confusion. So you need to make sure that you're following your steps first, walking down your path, but asking people for help. Hey, have you walked past this bush before? This bush looks like it has poisonous berries. Yeah, that bush has poisonous berries. Don't eat it. The one up ahead, like, look for this type of berry if you want, like, good food. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like, just don't follow anyone else's footsteps. You have your own path to walk. But when you interact with someone, you should always take something from it. You should take something that makes you feel a little off by it, and something that should make you feel gratified by it. You should pick up both of them. You shouldn't leave one to rot. You should pick up both of them. The reason why is you pick up the things that don't make you feel good, so now you know what to stay away from. Now you know a little bit more about yourself rather than just assuming it. Now you have a reason to why you think that way or why you would feel that way. And you pick up the things that gratify you, that boost you up, so that you know what you do want and know where to go next. Yeah, we're walking lessons within each other. We learn everything from each other. You will learn a lot more from yourself than anyone else, because the way you respond and react to other people tells you a lot about who you are as a person. And if you're okay with it, you're okay with it. If you're not okay with it, then you need to change it, because you're not okay with it. Not because someone says you have to change it, but because you don't like it. If you yell at someone and you didn't like the words you said, don't use those words again. That's on you. If you say something, if you yell at someone and you're like, no, it's okay, I'm cool with it, like, I don't have any harboring emotions, I don't feel bad for it, I could have handled it better, but I'm not going to eat myself alive, that's just how you're going to respond. The spiritual is all around. A lot of people, like, that's the thing, because even in spirituality, some people go like, oh, you don't worry about money, don't worry about this. Well, you need money. If you don't have money, you're gonna die. So you have to bring the spiritual down. What's the spirit? What is your heart telling you to do? What plans did the divine put on your mind? And a lot of people don't know, like, what to do. Well, like, what ideas come to mind about what you could do for money if you're lacking it? Then do those things, because those are being sent to you by the divine. Now your thoughts will convert them into other things, but when they first come to you, it's a good idea. Oh, I could sell this. Yeah, I could, but I don't know how to sell it. Notice how I said but there, right? But I can't sell this. I don't know who to sell it to. I don't know who would buy it. All these I don't knows and buts and opposing forces that are coming to then ruin that idea, and you push it away, even though that is still valuable and good. You're just not sure how to walk with it because it's the torch. You got to walk with it to see. Do I vape? No. No. I do not vape. I don't smoke anymore or anything. I used to smoke weed. I stopped completely. It's been 3 years since I've done that. I don't want to anymore. I'm cool without it. It's whatever. It's been 2 years, but I'm gonna say 3 years because we're in 2025. So I don't care anymore about it. Like it does. It didn't. At first, I thought it was helping me on my spiritual journey. It did not. It was a weird placebo effect where I was just trying to avoid um, doing things. By the time I was stopping, I was smoking more intentionally. So I would smoke to remember things from my past, to delve deeper within myself, so I would stay calm longer. And then I got the hang of it and just weaned myself off of it because I was like, I really don't even need this to stay calm. I was just overstimulated by everything. How old am I? I'm 25. You just have to figure out why you're smoking it. If it's like, if you're smoking because you're stressed, figure out what you can do to reduce that stress. You know what I mean? What are you trying to get? What feeling are you trying to achieve? What state of existence are you trying to be in that's causing you to go back to it? Because at the end of the day, that state of existence is you, because you're ingesting it. It's not the weed, it's you. You're just ingesting it, and it's showing you a part of you that you have inside of yourself. You just don't know how to access it yet because you haven't gone deep inside yourself yet. Anything you feel, you can have without having an external substance. You just got to go deep enough within inside of yourself too. So you got to like really look deep into yourself and find these things. You can bring up any feeling, any sort of vibration that you felt. You can literally have your own like shroom trip without taking shrooms. You can have your own acid trip without taking acid. You just need to be able to be vulnerable with yourself enough to be in that state, because it's all a state of existence. You don't need that chemical reaction from an external source to create it. You can do that internally with your own chemical reactions. Balancing out your stomach, your acidic levels in your stomach with your brain and everything, doing all that. It takes time and learning and studying and time, a lot of time, but you can do it. It's all there. Do I drink? No. I drink honey. I drink honey and water. Sometimes I drink soda. Sometimes not too much though. On spirits that died traumatically, are they stuck in purgatory? I wouldn't say they're stuck in purgatory, but they definitely reverberate around in the world that we're in. If we're gonna talk about it in like the sense of like ghosts and stuff, a traumatic spirit are basically what your demons are. So your jinn, your banshees, your revenants, things of that nature hold on to those tight emotions, those negative emotions, and those traumas, and then enact them out. You might need to, if you know how to, try and contact him and see what's going on with that. If you don't know how to contact him, find someone that does. And if that person that you find to contact them, what is going on? Damn, they having fun outside. They having a lot of fun outside. Holy shit. But if you find someone that tells you how to do it yourself, make sure that you follow their instructions specifically. A lot of times the dead will be around you just to tell you what they need to tell you. Some people are stuck here because they never got their final words out. I remember for a while I would see my dad constantly, like in my dreams and my peripherals. Signs of him would pop up, songs of his would pop up, and I would be like, "Why is he trying to talk to me? What's going on with that?" And turns out he just wanted to really apologize for what my sister did and what her husband did and what the whole situation was. Whenever I last seen him, he wanted to apologize for that and to let me know that he still loves me, that he's proud of who I am and all these things, and moving forward, so that he could move on and that I could move on, because part of you is also still holding on to your dad, which is why your dad's pulling on that string, pulling on you to make yourself noticing of him, because there's some form of connection that you still need to finish. There's an unfinished business. Doesn't mean it's bad, but it just, there's a communication that needs to still transpire. Uh, hmm. You may need to find I'm gonna call them a medium because that's the title they go by, but you're probably gonna need to find a psychopomp, someone that can actually channel your dad for you to figure out what's going on. Because if that's happening and you're unable to hear, then you do need some sort of form of assistance. Sometimes you can get lucky to hear your past over loved ones or just the spirit in general, but sometimes you are going to need to contact someone else for help. Make sure that you trust that person as well. You have to trust whoever you contact when it comes to these things, because a lot of times they will withdraw information and hold it back if you're not trusting. So like, try to have like a consultation with the person if you do, or just like talk to them a little bit more, like talk to them about who they are, about who you are, who your father was, and who they are. Get to know each other on that type of level, so that's easier. But that's the best advice I can give you for that when it comes down to anything. Um, I don't I can't channel many like spirits. They'll come by, but I can't channel like others. Because some people just be saying everything, and I can't be doing that. And it's not because I don't want to, it's just I haven't like practice that skill. Yeah, I just have too many skills to practice on. If I could just stop studying for like 2 months, I could probably hone in on a lot of my gifts, but I don't know when I'm gonna do that. But go find you someone that can, or if you need to as well, like going in deeper meditations, setting up like an altar for your dad as well could really help you build that relationship, and help with the communication as well. People just usually build altars for their ancestors, but the ancestors are the ones that came before you, and your father came before you, so you can just build an altar for him. Have stuff of his on there, like items of his and things of nature, photos and whatever, and use that as like a line of communication as well if you need. But a lot of it as well, like if you have any pent up like emotions, they will definitely stay attached to you with that heavily. Like that is a huge thing. That's like the whole thing when people are like, "Oh, you're being attacked by someone's energy." You're not attacked by their energy. It's the spirit that's on that person that's still attached to you, because you're still feeding into that same vibration. It can like, it's trying to get you to let go. Because in this world, in this realm and how it operates, people like to think everyone's attacking you. That's not the case. They're trying to get you to remove yourself. They're trying to get you to step away. Whenever you're getting that type of like feedback of, oh, someone's, projecting themselves to me and it's making me not like it, that's showing you that there's an energy there that's trying to say, let go of me. I don't want to be here either. Let me go. Because the longer you hold on to me, the more it's going to hurt you, and the more it's going to hurt me, because it's not just you that's being hurt, it's that spirit, it's that energetic tie between both of you that's there. And if you can let go, it makes it easier for the other person to let go within the realm of spirit, within the realm of the invisible, because we're all interconnected. So you have to remember, like, if you're still tugging on a cord that's connected to someone from your past, they're still getting that energetic response too. It might not be a remembrance of you, but it's going to remind them of an action you did, or something that resonates with your energy in their life that they're going to hold on to. So you have to let go to have them let go. They might not ever let go, but if you let go, it's not going to affect you anymore. This is your Friday night? Hell yeah, this is my Friday night. This is the best way to spend a Friday night. Is it Friday or is it Thursday? I think it's Thursday. Is today Thursday? I don't know. It is. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. I want it to be Friday. I don't know what's happening on Friday, but I want it to be Friday. I'm pretty sure today's Thursday. I don't remember. The days are blending in. Time is not timing anymore. But glad of y'all to stop by. My phone is on 21%. When it hits 10%, I'm a bounce. that's the rule I'm setting. But yeah, if we could just, because here's the thing, not everyone is falling for the spookism, which is good. A lot of people who were either raised up having gifts or raised up in certain environments, they're not falling for the spookism, which is good. But it's up for us to help those who are trapped in the spookism to like leave it. Because I live next to a family cemetery that I would sit at. I would be like 8, 9 years old, probably younger than that, sitting in a family cemetery talking to spirits like constantly. I would go in the woods. I would see cryptids because I'm in the fucking Appalachians, and that's all you see. You either see cryptids or ghosts or random anomalies that you can't even explain, like shadow people and all sorts of shit. I've seen it all. I've seen a chupacabra. I went to Wyoming, to a fair in Wyoming with my cousin, and we seen a dead chupacabra. It's like someone had a dead chupacabra in a case and was showing it off at a fair, and that was interesting. I think that was in like 2013. I've seen it all. I've seen all sorts of shit. I've experienced it. I've talked to dead people. I've played with Ouija boards in school. I've done everything that you can think of under the sun. Not really, but almost, man. I'm telling you. I've done crazy, stupid shit. But it's fun. It's just my life. I signed up for it. But I've never been afraid of spirits or like anything of that nature. I was on a hike uh with an old friend like around 2 years ago. I talk to dead people all the time. They come to me and tell me things, and I talk to them. I don't disturb them. They just come over here and like talk. It's just how it be. But like, I was on a hike with a friend like 2 years ago, and I don't I remember I wanted to go sit on a log, and as I was gonna go on the log, I turned around and said, "Are you gonna come? Like, are you gonna walk with me over here so we can sit down and talk?" And he just stood there and looked at me. And then when I walked back, he said, "There was a black figure like right behind you," and I was like, "I really don't care." It's like like they're not gonna do a damn thing to me. I've I've seen mimics. Like, oh my god, I had a mimic encounter when I was 15 with my friend. We both had one at the same fucking time. It was awful. We were in my woods, and I we were so we had this little fort of broken down trees, and I don't remember what we were doing. We were playing some sort of like imaginary game where he went to another side of the woods to make his own fort of broken down trees. And while he was there, I heard a tree break, and he started to scream, and I heard him run. And I turned around and seen a black figure behind the tree, and he looked away. And I was like, "Oh word." I was like, "Why are you there?" And then I heard his voice come from that tree, but then I seen him run across, because the woods was like here and my house was here. I seen him run this way because I was up a hill. So as he was running to the house, I was like, "That's not Aaron." So I ran down the hill, and he said, "Were you behind me?" I said, "No, I was over there still." He said, "I seen you over there." I was like, "No, I seen you over here." We were like, we just got inside and left. We went right inside the house and did not go up the woods for a little while, but that was interesting. I've had, dude, I need to like, I know it exists already, and I'm scared. I don't want to do it because I don't want people hijacking my brain and erasing memories. But I want to have my memories projected out because I want to like remember my memories in real time. Because I've had so many crazy encounters with so much stuff. I just, it's so weird. And that same friend I had issues too. The weirdest thing that happened is he had a hamster that was possessed, and he had to call someone to go see. He was calling like some ghost company to help like get rid of the spirits in his house, and he handed the phone to the dude, and he said, "Hey, do you want to buy a rabbit?" And I said, "What?" He says, "Man, I'm just trying to sell some rabbits, and they can't get one. So do you want a rabbit?" Because I was on the phone with him. I was like, "Why are you calling me?" He says, "One of my hamsters is possessed." And I was like, "What? Your hamster's possessed?" He goes, "Yeah, one of my hamsters possessed. There's a dude here too." And he just asked him if I wanted to buy a rabbit. I couldn't buy a rabbit. I wanted one, but I couldn't get one because my dad said no. But that was a weird encounter. We had weird encounters. That was probably one of my most paranormal friends I had because every time we hung out, something crazy happened. Like something like out of the blue happened. We would either hear things scream or like cryptid noises, anomalies, ghosts. It's fucking anything, basically. It was wild. I miss him. You know about tarot? I know a lot about tarot. Nothing's new. No, nothing new under the sun. It's just a typical day, you know. A mimic here, a possessed hamster there. It's whatever, you know. Look, it's on the movies. Just go to the movie theater. You see it all the time. Oh my lord. No, but I've had a really healthy relationship with spirits, luckily, and the paranormal. It's just fun. It's just weird. Because you meet people that don't have those experiences, and they get scared for you. They're like, "Oh my god!" They're like, "Be careful!" Like I don't. I think I'm more protected by these things than needed to be feared of them. I don't know what they do, and they just want to talk to me, but they don't. They don't know how to. Yeah, you got to be careful what you mess with. First of all, you don't need to be messing with Ouija boards. I'll tell you that from a first-hand experience. You don't need to be messing with Ouija boards unless you know what you're doing. Don't mess with it. That you want to talk to spirits, you want to talk to the dead, use a Ouija board. Don't use these. These do not let you talk to the dead. These will help you channel for sure, but they ain't telling you to talk to the dead. You want to talk to the dead? You want to talk to an actual demon? You want to talk to a spirit? Use a Ouija board. Don't be messing with them though. I'm not condoning no one to mess with them. But if you want to have bona fide contact, that's what you use. Don't be using no cards. You don't need to use the cards. They are tools that are meant for it. Just because you can use a rock as a hammer, does not mean you should use a rock as a hammer. I'm gonna leave it like that. Because I know how to use Ouija boards. I've messed with them. I know the consequences of them. I don't mess with them that much though. I don't use them that much. I could if I wanted to. I want one, but I at the same time, I wouldn't be messing with it for fun. I'd need like an actual reason to use it. Plato's cave theory. I don't know too much about that theory, to be honest with you. Yeah, see, that's the rough part. You got it like if you're not careful, you learn the rough way and shit goes wrong. See, that's the thing. I had a friend in high school learn the wrong way. They were being stupid and they were being a jerk off. I'll be completely real. They were being a complete jerk off. We were in contact with the spirit at my high school and he was being a jerk off. And then all of a sudden he got 3 big scratches on the back of his back that were red and bleeding. And he was like, "What do I do?" And I said, "Stop being an asshole. First of all, because you're being rude." And he was just asking like, "Oh, prove that you exist. I don't believe this is happening. Just prove it exists." And like, dude, all of us are standing here and it's happening right now. You either believe it right now or you don't. Don't test this shit. He tested it and then got hurt. And then we got Ouija boards banned from the school. Well, I did. I'm gonna say we because you're in a group. But he didn't trust it. He didn't believe in it, and now he's a believer because he got injured. He's okay. He's cleansed. I help him cleanse that shit away from him and stuff. But he learned the lesson the hard way. So it was unfortunate for him. Oh. But I don't know. And then again, some people are just born with it. Some people just have the genes and it's in their bones and blood to mess with this stuff. So they don't even need to know the rules. They just instantly have that respect, and as long as they keep it chill, it's okay. I feel like that's how I am with a few things, like with graveyards, because I as a child, I didn't know there were rules to graveyards. I would just go in there and chill and hang out. So that's something that I just got innately in me. I learned the rules of the graveyard after a while because I was like, it doesn't feel right to walk in the graveyard anymore. Like something's wrong, and so I learned about like what the do's and don'ts. I was like, oh, there's a whole gatekeeper that I gotta like be okay with and stuff. Okay, so then I went down that whole pipeline and made friends, and and started doing it the right way. I got a little bit of alien in me. I really do because oh my god, I remember this. You just like put a memory in my head. I was at the pool with one of my friends one day. I think when was this? 2019. It was 2018 or 2019. I was at the pool and I cut my foot, and we were sitting down. I don't remember what I cut my foot on, and my blood was orange, and I don't remember why my blood was orange. And well, I mean, after I learned, because orange blood is synonymous with being from Orion and being from the Orion's belt. If you didn't know, or like if your blood is like orange, then that's kind of like a thing. Like I did my research on it, and I found out a lot of the Orionite, the species from Orions have like a lighter colored blood like that. I didn't know what was going on. The lifeguard didn't know what was going on. My friend didn't know what was going on, and she looked at me and said, "Are you an alien?" I said, "I probably am. I don't know what's going on with this." So we all kind of ignored that it was orange, and I went to go get checked out, and I was fine. It wasn't infected or anything. There was no infection. There was no like chlorine in my system or anything because I was sitting on a chair. It was weird. You're a healer too. Can you confirm? I don't know. I can't confirm or deny if you're a healer. Are you healing? Are you able to heal yourself? Because a healer is just an action of healing. Being a healer is just a label of healing. So if you can heal yourself and you're able to show other people how to heal from things, and yeah, you're a healer, which is all of us to a degree. But that was a weird encounter that I had with that. I don't remember. It was just so weird. Like, I don't even remember. Like, well, I don't remember what I cut my foot on, first of all. And it was just weird. I'll never be able to explain it. I have to, like, think back. I gotta message him now. I have to figure out how to get a hold of him. It'd be like, do you remember when my blood was orange? Do you remember when I cut my foot on? What was going on? I don't know what I cut my foot on. It wasn't in the pool. It was outside of the pool. Because when I got out of the pool, when I stepped up on the concrete, my foot started to hurt. And then I laid down and I looked down. My friend said, "Dude, you're bleeding." I said, "From where?" And I looked down and there was a pool of orange underneath me. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Can you go get the lifeguard?" And she was like, "Yeah." And he got the lifeguard. She's like, "Why is your blood orange?" Like, I don't know. So she put the disinfectant on it. And I just went and got a Band-Aid and left. We left the pool. We did not stay a second later. We just left after that. Went back to the tent because you were camping. I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I felt exposed. I didn't know what was going on. It just felt weird. I mean, what else are you gonna do in a situation where you cut? Like, what would you do if you cut yourself in public and just found like your blood was like purple or blue? Just what would? Do you just sit there and like stay? I'll leave. I don't want anyone seeing me like this. They could be an agent somewhere. And it's just awkward though. It's not even like a fear. It's just like, damn, like now everyone here gonna know I have orange blood. Now I'm gonna be stared at the whole time. I'm gonna just leave. Like, fuck this. I got better things to do. Or I'll find something better to do. Shit was wild. What's my phone on? 15. We got 5 more battery life. That's the time we're going off of. I'm not gonna leave at a specific like hourly time. We're leaving at the time my battery hits 10%. That's the thing. I love when people are different. I'm so tired of seeing people being the same way and doing the same stuff. Be different. Like, damn. Don't have an identity crisis. Don't try and be like someone else. Be yourself. You can look at someone and be inspired by them, but don't copy them. Let them be a guiding light to what you desire to truly do. Let them be that motivation. Always let them be that motivation. You have to. Well, you don't have to do anything. I say you have to, but you don't have to do anything unless you want to. You have to do what you have to do. And I don't know what that is. For individuals, not at all. Man. I don't know what to talk about. It's been about what? Almost 2 hours, 3 hours? Damn. Something like that. Welcome in, welcome in. No, we still got 5% battery. I ain't going nowhere yet. Thanks for the time. I love hanging out with people. That's the thing. Like, I just want to know people. I just want to talk. I don't even like. That's the thing. Like, because at first I was doing the lives. I was like, oh, let's have a spiritual talk, and I was thinking, what's more spiritual than just talking to the spirits instead of like trying to identify it as being a subject. Just like let people talk. We might spit some knowledge. We might just joke for 3 hours. I don't know. It's gonna be a break from everything else that's going on. You'll learn something. Have you ever seen Bigfoot? My sister, who was my neighbor when I lived with my dad, had a Bigfoot target that he used to shoot with his shotgun. Does that count as seeing Bigfoot? Because other than that, I have not seen Bigfoot. If that counts as seeing Bigfoot, I've seen Bigfoot for for years. But if that doesn't count, I don't know if Bigfoot's real. Me personally, I've never seen Bigfoot. And I'm not going to say anything's real unless I've had an experience with it. I'm going to play it safe like that because I'm not going to assume something's real and then look like a jerk off when it doesn't exist, right? I'm going to just keep it a bean and a buck with people. I don't know if Bigfoot exists. I know there's like the whole cryptid. I know there's like a cryptology about him. I know that he has like his own region and his own like brand. Same as like the Loch Ness Monster and stuff, but I've never personally experienced the Bigfoot, so I don't know. I've experienced mimics and cryptids and demons and shadow people and all sorts of other stuff, but I've yet to experience Bigfoot. That's your answer. Well, thank you for thanking me, Patricia. I appreciate it. I love doing that too. Just saying, thank you for thanking me. I got those quirks, those little things I say. Let spirit talk is always the realest talk. Exactly. If I ever did see Bigfoot, I don't even know what I would do. I'd probably just stare at him for like 5 minutes. I like how everyone's like, if I see Bigfoot, I'm gonna kill him. Why would you do that though? Like what triggers you? Like, why do you hate Bigfoot so much that you would just shoot him if you like? Damn, like on sight. What the hell did Bigfoot do to you? You gonna shoot the man on sight? And is Bigfoot like a race or is it? I think it's a race, right? Or a species or whatever. I don't really know. Because why would you walk up to it and just shoot it? Like, why do you hate? Like, what anger do you have resented for a Bigfoot? What past life do you have with this creature that makes you want to kill it? Like, damn. Yeah, I've seen light floating above my head before. You can go back. I have a few lives that I used. I literally, okay. There is a video I have on this channel. I have at least 2 of them where I am completely see-through, by the way. Some of y'all remember it. I have videos of me like just sitting down talking and you can literally see the bed frame behind me and the wall behind me. I am see-through. Like, I've had those, we have some weird experiences over here and I just let it happen. So I needed like, I remember I took a picture of it. I took a screenshot of it because I kept getting comments on the video like, why can I see through you? What's going on? And I was like, what do you mean you can see through me? I was like, that's just something that they're seeing. It's okay. But then like multiple people started saying, I was like, what's going on? They timestamped it. I was completely see-through, and I was like, what the fuck? I don't remember transcending my physical form in this video, but I guess I did. That's cool. Do I remember how to do it? No. Do I want to do it? Yeah. I'm not really sure what caused it, or like I don't even remember the video name. I just don't know. I don't even know if it's a thumbnail or not. This is the thing, man. I don't remember any of the videos I make. I just make them. And it's not because I'm not consciously making them. It's just half the time I'm just letting spirit do what it has to do. I haven't caught a UFO on video, but I've seen them before. But I mean, we live in a weird world. Like, it's just how it is. I love this. The world is crazy. That was a live stream. Yeah, because it was a live stream, so it's not even edited. Because I used to do live streams that make them unlisted so no one could see them and then record. My favorite food is dragon fruit. I said record, I meant upload. But my favorite food is dragon fruit. I have so many of those occurrences where I can't tell if something's real or not anymore. I just kind of just let it happen. I was in meditation a while ago, and I astral projected into another body. And during that astral projection of being in another body, I was trying to force myself out of that. I was trying to force myself out of that body because I remember feeling my. I was remembering feeling the astral body in whatever I was in, like lifting up. And I got up on my hands and knees with my astral body. I felt it. It was fucking hilarious because I was like, what am I doing in this fucking, like. I was on the phone with someone, with like an old friend. And I was talking. And a sentence I was trying to say, I couldn't laugh properly. Like my laughing was like a wheeze. It was bad, and I said, look, I'm gonna have to call you later because my phone's not working, because when you astral project, your phones don't fucking work, right? Like, you can't have a phone in the dream. And while I was saying that, my my astral body was flipping the fuck out. It was like, get me out of this body, I don't want to be here anymore. And I was like trying to get up. I got on my hands and knees with the astral body and tried to rip myself up out of my out of whatever body I was projected into. And I just, like, at one point I gave up and I opened my eyes and I was like, I'm not doing that again. Like, whatever was going on there was crazy. I'm pretty sure what's going on is I'm trying to show myself a new level of existence, a higher plane. I move like a dancer. I just have rhythm. I got rhythm. That's all. I used to do Zumba as a child, but I'm a dancer for sure. But I'm very certain that I was just trying to project out of where I was to show myself a new version of existence, a higher realm of consciousness or something, because I was like eager to leave. It was like, we don't need to be here no more. There's like another existence. It was like in a different timeline though, because I was in the same hotel room, I was in the same bed, I was looking at the same TV, but I was in a completely different body, talking to someone that I didn't talk to before, and they were doing things that they don't even do, that to my knowledge at least. And I was just like, look, we have to go somewhere else. And I just remember looking at the TV while, like, trying to rip my body out of myself, and it just didn't work. So I laid back down. I went back into that body. I woke up from that projection. I was in the normal astral realm, and then I came to, and I was like trying to just normally meditate. I didn't even want to project. I just got sent up somewhere. But that shit's always fun. Dude, listen. You don't have to believe anything I'm saying, but these are experiences that I have, and when I don't know, because like you can make requests, like you can talk to your guide, you can talk to your inner self and be like, hey, I want to experience something like this or XYZ, or oh, I want to astral project. And then when you agree with it fully and release control of like needing to do it immediately, those things will start being put into place down your path. Like, oh, here's how you astral project. Oh, here's some sounds to help you astral project. Here's the do's and don'ts. Here's all these things. And then you start doing it. And then you have a dream about leaving your body. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I'm astral projecting, but I'm in a dream because you're dreaming about astral projecting. And that's a whole thing. Do I project onto others? I try not to. I don't project to stalk people. I just do what I gotta do. Can you ask a question? Go for it. Of course you can ask a question. What's my name? Oh boy. You can call me Z, but my name is Zahara. Most people just call me Z. Or Luna, because I used to go by Sublunar on the channel. No, I don't project onto other people. What? I mean, at the end of the day, you're always going to have some form of projection because you're going to have to project light onto someone to see them. So, like, if you're asking for that, because if we're going to talk about the psychology of it, the psychology, the study of the mental, then yes, there is some projection where it comes to physics and light. But do I project my ideals in my life on people? No. You also project and deflect, because in order for something to be projected, it has to be deflected to rebound and bounce off of. So that's like a conundrum that you're going to stay stuck in for a minute. That's an ego trap. So good luck with that one. That's my job. This is my job. Educating, teaching, tarot reading. Not mysticism, because mysticism is keeping things hidden, and fuck that. That's exactly what I just said, Michael. I don't know what you're talking about. I literally just explained that. I think you... I think you need help. Because what's going on, and what's going on is this. You're mad because I'm not agreeing to your standard of thinking. And that's okay. So what you're trying to do is play this weird psychological game where you make me look like I'm doing something bad other than just speaking, because you can't agree with yourself that you can just disagree. You've been doing this for 2 days. Why are you programmed to do this to yourself? Because it's not affecting me. It's affecting you and how everyone is viewing you. Because you're the one doing things. You're responding to something that you don't need to respond to in those types of manners. I know some people need to be corrected. That's why you came to me. That's why you're here, to be corrected. Because if you didn't need to be corrected or taught, then why are you here? Because that's what I'm here to do, is to teach people. So why are you in my energy? Why did I summon you? Bro, they cut me off. They cut me off. That's how... Bro, they cut me off. They cut me off. That's how much truth I just spoke. They cut me off because of that shit, bro. You're not correcting me. I'm already correct. If I needed to be corrected, I would correct myself. I correct myself because I'm responsible. I'm able to respond to my ability to do what I gotta do. It's okay that you disagree with what I speak about. But the way you're handling it is very immature and uneducated because you're trying to say something that isn't true based off your own opinions because you don't agree with me. Okay, hold on. Before we move on, because after this, I'm gonna just remove you out of here because I don't need like idiots in here. Do you know what narcissism is? Give me the definition of narcissism before I get rid of you, because I'm gonna just let you know what's gonna happen before the head. Describe to me what narcissism is, because I want to know if you actually know what that is or if you're just like everyone else and use it as a label. And I need you to go away because I want to see this dude's response. He ain't siphoning no energy. He's cycling within himself. I just want to know where his mind's at. Can you give me the definition of what a narcissist is? Don't look it up. Don't cheat. Don't use Google, because now you'll use Google, because I know you will. I know how people work. You don't know what narcissism is because you're not responding to my question. Awesome. I see who you are. I know what you're doing. You're sad. I'm going to give you another chance. Give me the definition of narcissism. Do not look it up. If you're going to call someone a narcissist, you better be able to tell me what that is. Don't look it up. I'm not Christian, no. I'm not religious. I'm not spiritual. I just am. Give me the definition for narcissism. I'm gonna wait. My phone's already at 5%. My phone's already below 10. I'm gonna wait on this response though. I want to know he knows what he's talking about. I want to know. Because anyone can throw it out an insult, but when you get directly asked a question, because look, he's gonna avoid it. He ain't responding. It don't take the song to respond to that question. Just, what's a narcissist? Tell me. If you know what it is, let me know. Because if you're gonna throw that word around, I'll educate you on it. And you're probably short-circuiting, honestly. I'll give you one, all right? I'll give you the answer. Narcissism is when someone is self-inflating, when they're so focused on themselves. Narcissist, in the term that people use it, is a scapegoat word to define people clinically psychological issues. Narcissism is a psychological term for, what'd you say? Oh, I want to read this. Over exaggeration of arrogance. Do you know what the word arrogance means? I'll ask you that as well, because what you just wrote down was the Google definition. Narcissism is a psychological term to define if someone is a psychopath or a sociopath. A psychopath is someone that operates on the realm of mental, and they are mentally abrasive. They use the power of mental to overcome people to make them submit. A sociopath is someone that over-involves himself within the social structures and or the emotional structures of people and how they're being. Narcissism is a blanket term for those two mental disorders. You didn't go to school for this, I'm gonna let you know. Because if you did go to school for this, you would know that narcissism is literally a blanket term for those two things. Narcissism in itself, by its own definition, is when someone is inflated with themselves over the needs of someone else to get a advantage point off of them, to get something from them by using either the realm of psychology, which is the mind, or sociopath, which is the emotional. It's going off the social structures. That's what it is. You don't know what you're talking about. So I'm gonna let you have fun with that. Narcissist personality disorder. But what's that personality? What is a personality defined? Is a personality defined from how they are acting on a sociological standpoint or a psychological standpoint? I'm just asking questions because if you went to school for this, you'd be able to reply. And it took you quite some time to type that out whenever it didn't need to. Because I'm just explaining to you what these words mean. You don't need to be medically defined by a label that people use to define actions of someone. It's like saying someone's bipolar. Everyone's bipolar. You have two poles. Earth is bipolar. You have your opposites. To be polar, polarized, split into two. That's where bipolar is. You have two poles. You're either on one side of the spectrum or the other, and you keep flipping back and forth. That's the bipolar. You have the two poles. You can't find the balance. You're either one and then you flip to the other immediately without any sort of like change, or the other way around. Like, you can look into this stuff. It's all there. John, if I was deflecting, I wouldn't have given you a definition. And I'm not gaslighting because I'm not. I think if anyone needs to go back to school, it's you, Michael. You're just gonna go away. It's okay. It's okay. They did not go to school. I'm gonna tell you this right now. They did not go to school for that at all. Oh my god. Or if they did, it was a really shitty one. I'll let you know that one ahead of time. Because these words that they use in medical studies are defined not in like on the standpoints of Earth. You can look at bipolar and literally see like the two poles on Earth. The Earth is a bipolar sphere. From what they're talking about. But yeah. Michael's a good standpoint of what you would define as a narcissist, but they're more psychopathic than sociopathic because they operate off the realm of mental and they're not appeasing to the emotional side of themselves. They're very abrasive. It's the arrogance is what they're talking about, is what that was about. I'm just gonna let them be a funny example. They can go do whatever they want. They just don't want to look up definitions. That's a robot. And that's okay. But I gotta go. It's 5:55. Good time. My cell phone's on 7%. I'm a head out. I love you all though. This is a very interesting live. I like this one. Watch out for those bots. Yeah. Dude, these bots are crazy. They gotta give them something though, cause like this is their only point of existence. If they don't do this, they just die and leave. Like they come to me, I gotta go help them a little bit, so I'll do it. You know what I mean? It's all fun at the end of the day. But I love you all so much. Everything you would need from me is in the description, and